Chapter 3993. The bronze emissary had walked out of the bronze gate. Was he going to preside over the test? Sure enough, the bronze emissary's voice was unusually calm. His voice spread throughout the surroundings. The test of the Destiny Stone had begun. Who will do it? Let me do it. A figure turned into lightning and instantly rushed forward. It was Lei Zhen. He could not wait any longer. He had to find out what his destiny was. The bronze emissary did not say anything. The others were also curious. They wanted to see what kind of future Lei Zhen had. At the same time, they also wanted to know how the Destiny Stone would test his destiny. Lei Zhen continued walking forward. He drew a line of blood on his palm and then placed his hand on the Destiny Stone. The blood merged into the Destiny Stone. In the next moment, the light on the Destiny Stone spun and the Great Tao intertwined. Everyone was nervous and looked forward to it. As for Lei Zhen, he was extremely nervous. At this moment, the Destiny Stone changed. The changes intertwined and formed an image. In that illusion, there was a mighty and extraordinary figure. Stepping on thunder, he looked like the thunder god. There were 3 strange flowers above his head. They quickly formed and became more and more colorful. Then, the 3 strange purple flowers disappeared. All kinds of auspicious signs descended between heaven and earth. What was that? Everyone was surprised and did not understand. They watched carefully and did not dare to breathe loudly. The auspicious signs of heaven and earth quickly gathered. In the end, there was an image of a lotus, but it was not solid. It was very faint. Soon all the illusions disappeared. Lei Zhen was also confused. He looked at the bronze emissary and said respectfully, "Senior, please enlighten me." The bronze emissary said indifferently. 3 strange flowers above his head were the 3 flowers at one's prominence. That was a small saint. Auspicious signs descended from the sky. That was an auspicious sign from the heavens. He could become a sacred venerate. When he said that, the crowd was in an uproar. In other words, Lei Zhen could become a sacred venerate. That was incredible. Someone said, "Is he only a sacred venerate?" They thought that Lei Zhen could become a sacred king. Lei Zhen's expression changed drastically. Although becoming a sacred venerate was also a supreme expert, he was unwilling to accept it. His goal was to become a sacred king. "Senior, what is a sacred king?" Lei Zhen asked quickly. The bronze emissary said indifferently. Lotus steps was the illusion of a sacred king. As soon as these words came out, the crowd was in an uproar again. In the end, all the strange phenomena formed an illusory lotus under Lei Zhen's feet. He still hadn't reached the level of lotus blooming step, but he had already surpassed the level of heavenly general auspicious signs. What was going on? The envoy looked at Lei Zhen and said in a deep voice, "It won't be a problem for you to become a sacred venerate. However, with your aptitude, it won't be easy for you to become a sage king. If one did not have a heaven-defying opportunity, one would not be able to become a sage king." This news was like a thunderclap. Lei Zhen's face turned ugly. With his talent, he could only become a holy venerate. The blow was too great for him. One had to know that sage king and sage sovereign were just 2 words apart, but their identities were vastly different. A sage king was a supreme existence in the 2nd astral realm. The saint venerables could only kneel before the saint kings. However, the others were extremely envious. Although they couldn't become saint kings, saint venerables were extremely terrifying. That was a supreme expert who could sweep through an entire star field. If they could become one, they would probably wake up laughing in their dreams. I still have a chance. Lei Zhen clenched his fists. It wasn't that he couldn't become a sage king, but this path was much more difficult. As long as there was a chance, he wouldn't give up. Lei Zhen took a deep breath and cupped his fists. "Thank you, senior." Then he stepped back. Who would be the next one? Everyone was looking forward to it. To be honest, not everyone had the opportunity and strength to predict the destiny. Some people didn't even have the Tao flower, let alone predict the destiny. Most people came to the Destiny planet to look for treasures and work hard to improve themselves. Only a very small number of people were eager to know their future. And this group of people were those who stood at the pinnacle of existence. "I'll do it." 9-headed Qilin quickly walked out. He couldn't wait any longer. This time he had lost so many lives. He wanted a perfect result. He glared at Lin Xian and then came to the Destiny Stone. He bowed respectfully. He cut his palm and placed it on the stone. Everyone was nervous and excited again. They didn't know what level 9-headed Qilin would reach. Soon, the figure of 9-headed Qilin appeared on the Destiny Stone. 3 flowers appeared on his head, and auspicious signs appeared. It was a sage king. Many people exclaimed. However, it wasn't over. After the auspicious signs appeared, lotus flowers appeared under his feet. Lotus flowers bloomed with every step. Heavens, a sage king. This nine-headed Qilin had the potential to become a sage king. Everyone screamed. Nine-headed Qilin's lips curled into a smile. Very good. Lei Jin's face turned cold when he saw this. Damn it, he had been defeated by the other party. The bronze envoy nodded slightly. If there were no accidents, with his talent and potential, he could become a sage king. Thank you, envoy. Nine-headed Qilin bowed respectfully and then walked away proudly. During this time he glanced at Lin Xian with a hint of provocation. Lin Xian sneered. Wasn't nine-headed Qilin a sage king? He believed that with his talent, it wouldn't be a problem for him to become a sage king. Next, more experts went up one after another. They were either chief disciples, top prodigies, or elders. Most of these people were holy venerates. There were very few sage kings. One could imagine how difficult it was to become a sage king. However, it made sense. After becoming a sage king, one could open up a sage city and accept 10,000 sages. How glorious was that? As for those above the sage king, no one had appeared. Could someone become the great sage? Everyone didn't dare to believe it. There were so many sage cities in the astral realm, but there might not be a great sage. Thinking of the great sage, Lin Xian and the others thought of La Heishan. This was the remnant soul of the great sage. They wondered what Heishan had experienced back then for him to die. At the same time they were also curious. How was Heishan in the Golden Palace? Was he in danger? Not long after, another scream was heard. It turned out that someone was walking with lotus flowers, forming the image of a sage king. This made everyone exclaim. Lin Xian and the others were also surprised. Who was it? This was incredible. Li Hongxiu and the others looked carefully. It was Jianshen. The dark red dragon and the others gritted their teeth. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. Jianshen, the chief disciple of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. It seemed that his talent was indeed very strong. Next, Gao Yu and Bai Luo, the two peerless beauties, also walked up to take the test. Chapter 3994. Their situation was similar to Lei Zhen's. They had received an auspicious sign and an illusory lotus flower had formed under their feet. There was no problem for them to become sacred sovereigns. However, it was difficult for them to become sacred kings. With their talents, it would be very difficult for them to do so unless they had other great opportunities. The crown prince of the new moon race was in the same situation. More people went up. Everyone's gaze shifted to Lin Xian. So far, there weren't many people who had the talent of becoming a sacred king. They wondered what Lin Wudi would be like. He should have the talent of becoming a sacred king. That was for sure. He had defeated Jianshen and nine-headed Qilin. They just didn't know when he would go up for the test. They were all looking forward to it. Some people also said that not only Lin Wudi, but the people around him were also very strong. They all had a high chance of becoming a sacred king. Why don't you guys go and try? Lin Xian asked with a smile. I'll go and try. The Northern Devil walked out. He cut his hand and placed it on the Destiny Stone. Soon, a golden lotus appeared under his feet. Lotuses bloomed with every step. Oh my God, this person also has the talent to become a sacred king. Who is he? Many people were shocked. This was one of Lin Wudi's companions. The surrounding experts were too shocked. Although they had seen the Northern Devil before, they didn't think that he was famous. He was far inferior to Lin Wudi and Li Hongxiu. However, they didn't expect that such a person had the talent to become a sacred king. One had to know that only Jianshen, nine-headed Qilin, and a few others had such talent. Didn't this mean that this young man called the Northern Devil's talent wasn't inferior to nine-headed Qilin and the others? Not bad. The Northern Devil smiled when he returned. Lin Xian and the others also gave him a thumbs up. His talent was very strong. The dark red dragon said from the side. Kid, don't worry. With your talent and that old man in a black shirt, it's not impossible for you to surpass a sacred king in the future. Indeed. Lin Xian nodded after hearing that. The bronze messenger also said that as long as one had a heaven-defying opportunity, they could break through to heaven's mandate. Furthermore, they knew that Tianming's predictions weren't completely accurate. For example, if one died prematurely, no matter how good one's fate was, it would be useless. I'll try. Li Hongxiu also stepped forward. She was the daughter of the Saint King, and her bloodline was extremely terrifying. Therefore he was able to achieve the scene of lotuses blooming with every step. As expected, the daughter of a Saint King also had the talent to become a Saint King. Everyone was extremely envious. Little sister Qingqing, are you not going? Li Hongxiu asked after coming back. Lin Xian also said, Qingqing, go and try it. However, Murong Qingqing shook her head. No, I have the seven-colored Phoenix bloodline. If it were to be exposed, I would be hunted down by the Phoenix clan. That would be bad. Lin Xian nodded. Since that was the case, then forget it. Anyway, Murong Qingqing's talent was definitely not inferior to his. That was a bloodline that even the emperor clans were jealous of. It shouldn't be a problem for her to become a Saint King. He even felt that Murong Qingqing could definitely go further. The dark red divine dragon and the toad didn't go either. The dark red divine dragon's bloodline was also very terrifying among dragons. Therefore, he didn't want to take the lead. As for the toad, it was even stranger. It was originally a new creature of Tianming, so it didn't need to be tested. Therefore, only Lin Xian was left. However, Lin Xian wasn't in a hurry. He was waiting. He wanted to see what kind of talent the people on the pilgrim list had. Yu Quan snorted coldly and took the lead to walk up. Everyone was excited. Heavens, it's Yu Quan. Are the people on the pilgrim list going to be tested? I wonder what kind of talent this group of people will have. These people were extremely excited. Soon, lotuses rose under Yu Quan's feet. Lotuses blooming with every step. Everyone was envious. Yu Quan wasn't surprised by this. He snorted lightly and walked back. Then Emoshio also walked up. Lotuses blooming with every step. Qin Xiener charmed everyone and also blooming with lotuses. However, they were all lotus blooming steps, but there were still differences. Qin Xiener's lotuses were obviously brighter and more numerous than Yu Quan's. Regarding this, Li Hongxiu explained that there were also strong and weak sage kings. This meant that Qin Xiener's future achievements would be higher than Yu Quan's. Knowing this result, Yu Quan's face became a little ugly. Damn it, this woman. He didn't expect that he would be defeated by her again. When it was Wang Jianyi's turn, everyone screamed. Because Wang Jianyi's lotuses were even more terrifying than Qin Xiener's. The sky was full of golden lotuses, flickering non-stop, covering the sky and the earth. Not only that. In the illusion, in addition to lotuses blooming under his feet, there was also a trace of light flickering above his head. The light of the galaxy. A trace of light appeared in the bronze envoy's eyes. He smiled. I didn't expect you to be able to trigger the light of the galaxy. Although it was only a trace, it was very weak. It meant that you had a chance to break through to the great sage realm. As soon as these words came out, everyone was in an uproar. They looked at Wang Jianyi with excitement. This talent was too heaven-defying. The first one had appeared. The person who had the ability to break through to the great sage realm had appeared. Even Lin Xian and the others were surprised. The dark red dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. This person was incredible. Murong Qingqing, Li Hongxiu, and the others also had serious expressions. So far, so many top geniuses and peerless powerhouses had been tested, but only Wang Jianyi had triggered the light of the galaxy. Wang Jianyi's mouth curled up into a smile. He clenched his fists, his face full of excitement. The great sage realm. Even he was excited at this moment. Great Jiansheng was cheering there. The 10,000 Swords Pavilion was going to rise. If a great sage realm appeared in the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, then they would be able to rule the second astral realm and surpass all the holy cities. As for the other holy cities, they were extremely shocked. This was an incredible piece of news. It would probably cause a huge storm after the celestial fate star test ended. However, at this moment, the bronze envoy spoke. He said in a deep voice, although you triggered the light of the galaxy, it was too weak. This doesn't mean that you can completely become the great sage. It's just that you have the possibility. As for whether you can become one, it depends on your luck. Thank you for your advice, senior. I will remember it in my heart. Wang Jianyi said gratefully with cupped fists. Although there was only a slight possibility, it meant that he had surpassed the others. Because the others didn't even have the slightest possibility. Damn it, he actually had the chance to become the great sage realm. Yu Quan, Emoshio, and the others clenched their fists. Their eyes were red. Although they knew that it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens for him to become the great sage realm. But there was still such a possibility. However, they didn't have it at all. The gap between them was simply too great. If they wanted to stop him, they had to kill him before he became the great sage realm. Qin Xiener was also envious. Her beautiful eyes flickered, and no one knew what she was thinking. Chapter 3995. Everyone was in an uproar, but there were two people among them who were extremely calm. One of them was Chao Tianxing, who stood with his hands behind his back and wore a green ghost mask. His expression was calm, as if this was nothing to be surprised about. The other was a space-type powerhouse who stood in the void and exuded the power of space. making it impossible for others to see what was real and what was not. Gufeng. Although the crowd couldn't see his face clearly, they could feel his smile. This was too strange. Everyone knew that this was because the other party's use of space power had reached perfection. They could only see what the other party wanted them to see. If he didn't want them to see it, even if they broke their heads and used all their secret methods, they wouldn't be able to find anything. The other party was actually smiling. It seemed that the other party also had unlimited confidence. They were looking forward to it. They didn't know what this space-type powerhouse would be like. Let me test it. The appearance of the starry river's brilliance completely caused everyone to boil. Even the top assassin hiding in the dark couldn't hold it in anymore. He finally walked out of the void. This was the top killer saint in the mortal world. As expected, he also came. Many people screamed. This person was Wuxia. After he walked up, he also took the test. Under his feet, golden lotuses of the great path filled the sky. The scene was better than that of Mo Xiao, Yu Quan and the others. This made Mo Xiao and Yu Quan's expressions turn ugly. Especially Yu Quan, whose teeth were about to shatter. However, the only thing that made people sigh was that there was no starry river's brilliance with every step. This meant that the other party was not fated to be the great sage. Impossible. Wuxia couldn't accept this fact at all. Was he really not fated to be the great sage? Damn it, I don't believe it. What kind of broken stone is this? He actually pulled out a killing sword and slashed it fiercely. Oh, damn it, how dare you? Many people screamed. If the destiny stone was destroyed, wouldn't that mean that they wouldn't even be qualified to take the test? At this critical moment, the bronze emissary stretched out a finger and gently pointed forward. The sword in Wuxian's hand shattered, and his arm turned into a bloody mist and flew backward. Seeing that it wasn't easy for you to cultivate, I'll spare your life. If you dare to offend me again, I'll destroy your heart and soul. Get lost. The bronze envoy shouted coldly. After Wuxian heard this, he left scared witless. The others were shocked beyond words. That was Wuxin, a top genius on the pilgrim list. But now, in front of the bronze emissary, he couldn't even block a single finger. How strong was the bronze emissary? They didn't know, but it was likely that no one would dare to act impudently in front of him anymore. What a reckless fool. He actually dared to provoke the bronze envoy? Gufeng shook his head. He stepped forward and cupped his fists at the bronze emissary. Senior, please calm down. That kind of trash was not worth getting angry over. Why don't I use my heavenly fate test to make you happy? After saying that, he walked forward. The surrounding people whispered to each other. This Gufeng was too confident. That's right, he actually looked down on Wuxian. He wondered what his destiny would be like. At this moment, countless people were paying attention. Even Lin Xian had a serious expression on his face. Soon, lotuses bloomed at every step above the mandate of heaven. This caused the crowd to exclaim in surprise. This was something that everyone had expected. The strength of this space-type powerhouse was unparalleled. However, no one knew if he had the possibility of becoming the great sage. At this moment, even Wang Jiani became nervous. Could Gu Feng's future achievements be on par with his? In the next moment, countless people screamed. Look, it's the brilliance of the galaxy. Indeed, the brilliance of the galaxy appeared under Gu Feng's lead. It was incomparably dazzling, illuminating the sky. The brilliance of the galaxy was much brighter than Wang Jiani's. The great sage's talent. He had the talent to become the great sage. This Gu Feng's talent was too strong. As expected of a space-type powerhouse. Screams rang out one after another. At this moment, the surrounding sages were all stunned. Even the people on the pilgrim list were in an uproar. Was it true? Was his talent better than Wang Jiani's? Mo Xiao, Yu Quan and the others clenched their fists tightly. They were going crazy with jealousy. Wang Jiani's expression also became ugly. Did someone surpass him in terms of talent? Damn it, Gu Feng's future achievements were even greater than his. The bronze emissary's eyes also burst out with bright light. He clapped his hands and laughed. Good, good, good. He didn't expect a complete galaxy to appear. This young man was extremely talented. If there were no accidents in the future, he would have no problem becoming the great sage. The great sage was in existence above the sage king. There wasn't a single great sage in the entire second astral realm. One could imagine how terrifying this was. Lin Xian, the dark red divine dragon, and the others all gasped. This was a peerless enemy. When he grew up in the future, he would be incomparably terrifying. Wang Jiani's eyes burst out with a piercing light. This Gu Feng made him feel a sense of fear and danger. He had to get rid of him. Moreover, it had to be done in the near future. It would be best if he could become a sage. Otherwise, this space-type powerhouse would be even more terrifying in the later stages. Even Chao Tianxing revealed a look of surprise this time. His eyes shone with a mysterious light. No one knew what he was thinking. The space-type powerhouse was indeed worthy of its reputation. He nodded slightly. The surrounding people exclaimed, and it took a long time before they gradually calmed down. Everyone's gaze was on Chao Tianxing. There was only one person left on the pilgrim list. This Chao Tianxing was incomparably mysterious. No one had even seen his real face. Moreover, he didn't fight often, but every time he did, it was earth-shattering. Previously, he was facing off against Wang Jiani. Thinking about it, his strength was definitely not inferior to Wang Jiani. I wonder how his heavenly fate is? Whispers sounded. Everyone was incomparably curious. Even Lin Xian and the others were looking forward to it. However, Chao Tianxing shook his head. I don't need to test my destiny. What? Everyone was stunned. He didn't need to test? Even Wang Jiani, Gu Feng and the others were stunned. Yu Quan and the others were even more stunned. They worked so hard to suppress their cultivation to come to the celestial realm. Wasn't it just to test their destiny? But now there was someone who didn't want to test it. What kind of joke was this? Then why did he come here? I think you don't dare to test it? Wang Jiani coldly snorted. Previously, Chao Tianxing dared to confront him, which made him very unhappy. In the face of such provocation, Chao Tianxing didn't care. There was no such thing as daring or not, only wanting to test it. I already said that I don't need to test it. I hope Lord Envoy can forgive me. The bronze envoy also revealed a look of surprise. There was actually someone who could resist this temptation. One must know that. The future was so mysterious. If someone could seize the opportunity first, it would be much more convenient in the future. Could be said that one step ahead, every step ahead. However, there was actually someone who didn't want this opportunity. Chapter 3996. Lin Xian and the others also frowned. This Chao Tianxing was incredible. He must have a huge secret. The dark red dragon said. Murong Qingqing too. Her eyes flickered. Perhaps he has a bloodline equal to ours. Indeed, the dark red dragon, Murong Qingqing, and the others didn't participate in the test. Because they had shocking bloodlines. Once it was exposed, it would cause unnecessary trouble. Perhaps it would even cause the monarch race to hunt them down. Chao Tianxing was unpredictable. Perhaps he had the same worry. But no one knew what he was worried about. Interesting. He couldn't see through him. Gu Feng was also surprised. He felt that Chao Tianxing was even more mysterious than him. It seemed that he would be a difficult opponent in the future. Chao Tianxing gave up. This surprised everyone. However, the test still had to be carried out. Soon, someone went up to take the test again. It was his destiny. Most of them were followers of the pilgrim role. These people were called followers, but their strength was also abnormally strong. They were not weaker than the chief disciples. In fact, they were even stronger. Therefore, these people were very talented. Many of them had hopes of becoming sacred venerables. The saints in the other areas also came up to take the test. After all, as long as they went up and pressed their blood and palm on it, they would be able to see the future. This made everyone tempted. However, the next best was only a sacred venerable. The sacred king never appeared again. Everyone knew that if it wasn't a top chief disciple or someone on the pilgrim roll, it was impossible for others to become a sacred king. Not to mention the great sage. So far there were only 2 people. To be exact, there was only one. Wang Jiani only had hope. As for whether he would succeed in the future, no one knew. I'll go and try. Lin Xian looked for a long time. He took a deep breath and walked forward. As soon as he walked out, everyone stopped talking. The entire place was silent. Planet Tianming was terrifyingly quiet. Was Lin Wudi going to take the test? He finally couldn't hold it in anymore. I thought he was going to give up too. Exclamations sounded. At this moment, it could be said that he was the focus of everyone's attention. Lei Jin, the 9 Qilins, Prince Da, and the others clenched their fists. This was their lifelong enemy. Yu Quan and the others also had cold expressions. Although Chao Tianxing's cultivation was inferior to theirs. However, his strength had already shocked them. In the future, he would be a strong opponent for the pilgrim rankings. He could be said to be a potential enemy. The fate of such a person was what they were most concerned about. If it was super strong, they would find a way to kill it in the cradle. Northern Monster and the others were nervous as well. With this kid's talent and physique, it shouldn't be a problem for him to become a sage king. I wonder if he can become a great sage. They were also nervous and expectant. Under the gazes of the crowd, Lin Xian walked forward. Lin Xian first bowed to the bronze emissary before cutting his finger and pressing it forward. The bronze envoy also nodded slightly. He still remembered the young man in front of him clearly. He remembered that the other party had even broken a world record. Such a person's talent and future were destined to be good. Perhaps Su could give her an unexpected surprise. Come, let me see what kind of heaven's mandate you can reach. Gu Feng crossed his arms. The spatial energy in his body was becoming more and more mysterious. On the other side, Mr. Chow also had his hands behind his back. This time, his expression was solemn. Lin Xian's blood fused into the Heaven's Mandate Stone. The Heaven's Mandate Stone shone brightly as the great Tao intertwined. 3 flowers gathered above, auspicious signs descended from the heavens, and lotuses bloomed with every step. Soon, all kinds of strange phenomena appeared around Lin Xian, causing countless people to exclaim. Lotuses bloomed with every step. This kid really had the talent to become a sage king. That was for sure. If he couldn't become a sage king, the others probably wouldn't have any hope. After all, Lin Xian was now known as the #1 chief disciple. Did he have the opportunity to become a great sage? These people were all nervous. Even people as strong as Jian Qin and the 9 Qilins didn't have such a possibility. Many of the experts on the pilgrim rankings didn't even have one. There were only 2 people. One was Gu Feng and the other was Wang Jiani. And Gu Feng was sure that Wang Jiani only had a slight chance. It could be said that he only had 1.5 chances. Could Lin Xian break the legend that Gu Feng had created? To be honest, even Lin Xian was nervous. Gradually, a light condensed above his head and then it burst out. It appeared, the glory of the Milky Way. Countless people screamed. At this moment, all the sages on planet Tianming were shocked. This kid really condensed it. The glory of the Milky Way. That's great. The dark red dragon and the others screamed. I knew that this kid definitely had the qualifications to become a great sage. Murong Qingqing also breathed a sigh of relief. It was rumored that when the 9-yang divine body was cultivated to the large success stage, it wouldn't be a problem to become a great sage. Now it seemed that it was true. Even Li Hongxiu was stunned. Wow, this kid actually had such a heaven-defying destiny. The toad even jumped up. I'm not seeing things, right? It was so rare for a great sage to appear. Everyone knew that. Now Lin Xian also had such a possibility. Moreover, the glory of the Milky Way was on par with Gu Feng, completely surpassing Wang Jiani. In other words, if the other party didn't fall, there would be no problem for him to become a great sage. Everyone was shocked by this scene. Damn it, how could it be like this? Lei Jin, the 9 Qilins, the eldest prince, and the others gritted their teeth. Their eyes were red and they were about to faint. They had never put the other party in their eyes before, but now the other party had already surpassed them. In the future he would also ruthlessly trample them under his feet. This really frightened them. Gao Yu, Bai Luo and the others exclaimed in shock. On the other side Yu Quan gritted his teeth. The great sage. The other party's future was better than his and it was much better than his. Mo Xiu was the same. He was simply crazy with jealousy. This kid was really too surprising. Jian Chen's face was also full of surprise. He didn't dare to believe it. Wang Jiani's face was cold and his eyes were filled with killing intent. The other party's talent was better than his? Damn it, he didn't believe it. On the side, Jian Chen said, "Senior brother, don't worry. The future is limitless. If he falls early, he won't have a chance to become a great sage. Senior brother, it's not convenient for you to make a move. When we leave planet Tianming, I'll make arrangements. I'll make sure he can't even become a small sage." These people were filled with killing intent. In fact, it wasn't just Jian Chen and the Myriad Sword Pavilion. The other saint cities were also filled with killing intent. The reason for that was because Lin Xian had made too many enemies in the past. If such a person became a great sage in the future, then who in the 2-star realms would be his match? Interesting. Chao Tianxing's eyes flickered. It was obvious that he was very interested in Lin Xian. The bronze emissary also clapped his hands and laughed. Good, good, good. It was simply heaven-defying to have a great sage's talent. But now there were 2 of them. It really made him happy. Chapter 3997. On the other side, the smile on Gu Feng's face disappeared. To be honest, he was looking forward to seeing what kind of future Lin Fan would have. However, when he saw it, he felt a little uncomfortable. Lin Fan had the same qualifications as him to be part of the great sage. This made him extremely unhappy. He was the king of spatial abilities. How could Lin Fan compare to him? He snorted coldly and his face darkened. The great sage? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Although he was very excited, this was not what he wanted. He wanted more. Just when the others thought that it was over, the situation changed again. This time, everyone was stunned. Even the bronze emissary was dumbfounded. He could not believe it. His jaw was about to drop. The starry river in the sky kept flickering, and then it formed stars one after another. They turned into a universe and matured above Lin Xian's head. What kind of scene was this? It was too terrifying. Everyone was stunned. This was impossible. Gu Feng also screamed, and Wan Jinyi's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He could not help but want to attack. Even among great sages, this kid must be at the peak of existence. The dark red divine dragon and Murong Qingqing were also shocked. However, this was not the end. The starry universe above his head actually hung down and enveloped Lin Xian. Finally, it crawled under Lin Xian's feet. This scene was too terrifying. Stepping on the starry river? Was this still the brilliance of the starry river? Everyone looked over and found that the changes continued. Lin Xian's figure appeared in the stars under his feet, and in the endless starry world. He was like a god, accepting the worship of all the worlds in the universe. At this moment, the bronze messenger was terrified. He took 3 steps back and screamed in horror. Illuminating the heavens. You can actually reach the illuminating the heavens. Impossible. The others were also stunned. They had never seen this scene before. At this moment, when they heard the bronze messenger scream and tremble, they were even more shocked. Illuminating the heavens, what was that? One had to know that different destinies had different titles. For example, the auspicious sign from the heavens was the Holy Sovereign. Lotus blooming step by step was the Saint King. The splendor of the galaxy was the Great Sage. However, at this moment, a new term had appeared, heaven illuminating. Could it be that he was above the Great Sage? These people had such a thought. Then they all shook their heads frantically. They were all stunned. That's impossible. Above the Great Sage, wasn't that a legendary existence? Did anyone really have that kind of aptitude? This was simply too heaven-defying. Above the Great Sage, there was no need to mention the Great Emperor. Since ancient times, every martial monarch had been a supreme existence that had shaken both the past and the present. Such a person had not appeared for tens of thousands of years. Furthermore, their greatest goal in life was to become the legendary Great Emperor. They also walked the path of the primeval emperors, but in their hearts, they knew very well that the primeval emperors were the strongest. This was just a beautiful dream that no one could achieve. Right now, even becoming the Great Sage was an extravagant hope, let alone becoming an existence above the Great Sage. But now, someone had actually obtained that talent? It can't be. This brat was so scared that he couldn't speak. The dark red divine dragon was also dumbstruck. Murong Qingqing exclaimed, "Great, Brother Xian's future is too good." Li Hongxiu, who was next to him, was also stunned. She had never seen anything like it. Not to mention them, even Wan Jinyi, Gu Feng, and the others were dumbfounded, unable to believe their eyes. Chao Tianxing's eyes shone with a terrifying light. At this moment he was like a demon god that had come back to life, glaring at Lin Xian. Impossible. Everyone was roaring. They simply couldn't accept it. They didn't dare to imagine it. Get rid of this brat. I must get rid of him. Wan Jinyi, Yu Quan, Mo Xiu, and the others were brimming with killing intent. They swore that they wouldn't wait a second after leaving planet Tianming. They had to work together to kill him. They would never allow such a person to exist. At the same time, the bronze emissary was also stunned. He had never seen such a situation before. The heaven illuminator only existed in ancient books. At this moment he saw it with his own eyes. Was he going to witness history? Was a great emperor suddenly rising in front of him? Thinking of this possibility, even with his cultivation and strength, he couldn't help but tremble. A heaven illuminator? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He was also excited, and the corner of his mouth raised into a smile. Great, although he didn't know whether it was a great emperor or not, it was definitely an existence above the Great Sage. His life and death battles weren't in vain. It was too worth it. The heavenly fate test this time was really worth it. However, at this moment, a change occurred again. The heaven illuminators under Lin Xian's feet suddenly turned pitch black, turning into black lotuses that bloomed everywhere. What was going on? Was there a change? Black lotuses blooming with every step? What the hell was going on? These people were all stunned. Those black lotuses kept blooming and then crazily wrapped around Lin Xian. They wanted to swallow Lin Xian. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. These lotuses? He was completely stunned. This sudden turn of events stunned all the people present. The bronze emissary was stunned again. This time his eyes almost fell out again. At the same time, the heaven illuminator disappeared. The destiny stone trembled and blood gushed out from the 9 holes. It was abnormally strange and terrifying. It stained the starry sky, and the blood condensed into a huge killing intent. The killing intent was monstrous. At this moment, everyone couldn't help but want to kneel on the ground. Retreat, they frantically retreated. What was going on? The black lotuses reappeared and blood dyed the blue sky. The bronze emissary screamed crazily and jumped up. You are a person abandoned by the heavens. Lin Xian was also shocked. The heaven illuminator he had created had long been dyed red by the blood. That immense killing intent almost caused his body to collapse. He frantically resisted, and at the same time, what shocked him even more was the black lotuses under his feet. How could he forget such a black lotus? He would remember it for the rest of his life. That was because when he was young, it was this lotus that sealed his meridians, preventing him from cultivating. After that, Wine Lord appeared and broke the black lotus, allowing him to cultivate. He thought that he would never see this lotus again in his life. But he didn't expect to see it again now. Moreover, these black lotuses wanted to seal him again. Damn it, what was going on? He activated his dragon-shaped sword chi and frantically resisted. The others were even more stunned. A person abandoned by the heavens? What did that mean? Could it be that he was abandoned by the heavens? But what was going on with the heaven illuminator? All of this was too strange. Even if these people were favored by the heavens, they were still stunned at this moment. Chapter 3998. Ah. At this moment someone laughed complacently. It was Yu Quan. His nerves were incomparably ferocious. What heaven illuminator? What great sage? You're a dead man. Did you see that kill? Heaven and earth will not tolerate it. Lin Wudi, you will definitely die. The others were also in an uproar. Emoshio jumped out and sneered. That's right, heaven and earth will not tolerate it. What are you still alive for? Hurry up and kneel down and accept your death. This sudden change shocked everyone. It was impossible, right? How could it be like this? The northern demon and the others exclaimed. Li Hongxiu also found it hard to understand. The dark red divine dragon frowned. Damn it, why did the blood fiend appear? How could the heaven illuminator disappear? How could that kid become a person abandoned by the heavens? One had to know that Lin Xian had many fortunes along the way. He had a divine body and a dragon sword soul. It was hard to find one in tens of thousands of years. And along the way, he had relied on his own strength to obtain all kinds of heavenly treasures. Such a person was simply the chosen one of the heavens. How could he be a person abandoned by the heavens? The toad screamed again. He had never felt as excited as today in his life. This, he stuttered again. Brother Xian. Murong Qingqing was incomparably nervous. She didn't care whether he was a heaven illuminator or a person abandoned by the heavens. She was very worried about Lin Xian. She was afraid that Lin Xian wouldn't be able to accept this fact. The heaven illuminator and the person abandoned by the heavens actually happened to the same person at the same time. What a strange thing. Chao Tianxing had his hands behind his back. His brows were tightly knitted together. He couldn't understand this kind of thing. On the other side, Gu Feng heaved a sigh of relief. The corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. I was scared to death. I originally thought that he would completely surpass me. Now it seems that his path has come to an end. Such a person is not worthy of my attention. He shook his head and ignored it. How could a person abandoned by the heavens have a future? Jian Shen also revealed a cold smile. Senior brother, it seems that we don't need to do anything. The heavens and earth will not tolerate him. The killing intent in Wang Jian's eyes also disappeared. He laughed. A person without a future is not worthy of us making a move. Lin Xian's expression was incomparably grave. He did not understand what the black lotus represented, and what it meant to be abandoned by the heavens. However, he felt a great sense of danger. Fortunately, he was now a powerful saint. He was no longer the weak young man from back then. The dragon-shaped sword chi swung out, bringing with it an unparalleled sharp aura that cut off everything. Those black lotuses were blocked by the sword chi and could not get close at all. However, Lin Xian's expression was extremely serious. He lifted his head to look at the bronze envoy and asked in a deep voice, "Senior, what's going on?" The bronze messenger was also stunned. His heart seemed to have been thrown into the 9 heavens before falling into a bottomless abyss. The young man in front of him had first conjured a heaven illuminator. This unprecedented illusion made him think that he was a young great emperor. But now, the illusion of a person who had been abandoned by the heavens appeared again, staining the starry sky with blood. These two illusions were actually on the same person. It was truly shocking. However, the bronze envoy knew what this meant. Therefore his voice turned icy cold. His meaning was already very clear. You have been abandoned by the heavens and earth and cannot exist in this world. He suddenly stretched out a large bronze hand and slammed it forward. This sudden scene stunned everyone. The bronze envoy had made his move. Previously, the bronze envoy had severely injured Wuxia with a single finger. Could Lin Shen block it? Wouldn't this slap destroy Lin Shen's astral soul? Not good. The dark red divine dragon, Murong Qingqing, and the others cried out in alarm and wanted to help. However, just the aftermath of this energy made it impossible for them to move forward. On the other side, Lei Jin, the 9 Qilins and the others were ecstatic. Jian Qin and the others were even more excited. This was great. This attack would definitely kill the other party. He was still far from being able to fight with them. They did not even need to make a move to kill the other party. Lin Shen's pupils shrank. The bronze envoy was definitely a sacred venerate. He might even be a saint king. How could he possibly block such an attack? He felt cold all over. He could not even summon the power of the great sage Pagoda. Was he going to die? He was unwilling to accept this. So what if he was an envoy? He activated the great dragon sword soul and roared madly. He would not sit still and wait for death. This was not his style. It was like throwing an egg against a rock. Wan Jinyi, Gu Feng, and the others sneered when they saw this scene. There was no suspense in this battle. At this critical moment, a ray of light suddenly shone. It enveloped the bronze hand. Then, cracking sounds could be heard as countless bronze fragments scattered. The bronze hand in the sky was directly cut off. The bronze envoy grunted and retreated. Who was it? He roared madly. The others were stunned. What was going on? Lin Wudi was not dead. Someone actually saved Lin Wudi. This was impossible. Who in this world could stop the bronze envoy? Lin Shen was also stunned. Could it be? He turned his head. In the 9th heaven, a figure floated down and came to his side. It was a figure covered in black fog. It was impossible to see clearly. However, the aura he emitted was too strange and mysterious. Everyone felt an indescribable pressure as if their hearts were about to shatter. Who are you? The bronze envoy's pupils shrank. The aura this person gave him was very dangerous. Lin Shen smiled. Black Mountain, you're here. He did not expect Black Mountain to come at this critical moment. The dark red dragon heaved a sigh of relief. That's great, you old ghost. Do you know how dangerous it was just now? The dark red dragon roared at the back. Master and the North Demon also rushed over. Murong Qingqing heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that this was a top expert. With him around, Brother Shen should not be in danger. The toad shrunk its neck. It was scared to death. It naturally knew Black Mountain. It had seen him in the Golden Palace before. However, it did not expect him to be stronger than it had imagined. He actually dared to fight against the bronze envoy. Who was this person? Was there such a terrifying existence behind Lin Wudi? Yu Quan and Mo Xiu and the others felt their hair stand on end. Gu Feng and Wan Jinyi's faces became serious. Even Chao Tianxing's face was solemn. Lei Jin, the 9 Qilins and the others screamed. It was him. How could it be? They had seen Black Mountain once. Previously, in the depths of the Golden Palace, there was a figure standing in front of the golden platform. At that time, although his back was facing them, they could recognize him at a glance. It was the figure in front of them. Heavens, who was this person? Why did he protect Lin Wudi? They were about to go crazy from anger. You dare to fight against me? Do you want to die? The bronze envoy's voice was unusually cold. Black Mountain snorted. Little envoy, you dare to be arrogant in front of me? Do you want to die? He was incomparably domineering. Chapter 3999. The bronze emissary's expression was cold. Which holy city are you from? He stared at him for a long time but couldn't tell which holy city he was from. However, he soon snorted coldly. No matter which holy city you're from, this kid is abandoned by the heavens. If you dare to help him, you're going against the heavens. You'll definitely die. Do you dare? At this point, the destined star suddenly erupted with unparalleled power. Thunder fell from the heavens as if to destroy everything. Are you threatening me? Black Mountain snorted coldly. Can you represent the heavens? Abandoned by the heavens? You're just abandoned by the immortals. If this path doesn't work, there are other paths. If you dare to make a move, ask me first. An extremely terrifying aura also rushed out of Black Mountain's body. A jade-like rui appeared in his hand. He waved it lightly and the thunder above him collapsed. The endless lightning was destroyed before it even landed. This scene shocked the bronze emissary even more. Damn it, how did this happen? The toad jumped up. Damn it, how did you get that thing? The others were also stunned. They remembered this jade rui. Back then, on the golden platform, there was a sleeping woman. She had the body of a human and the tail of a snake, and she was holding the jade rui in her hand. Who would have thought that the other party would get his hands on it? How dare you use something that belongs to the queen? The toad was about to go crazy. It wanted nothing more than to pounce on the other party. However, it was stopped by the dark red holy dragon. Brother, don't worry. Old Black is too strong. You can't beat him. This person was really too strong. He could be easily destroyed by the tribulation lightning. What kind of existence was he? At the same time, they were even more shocked. Abandoned by the heavens? Abandoned by the immortals? What was going on? What did it mean? Even Lin Xian was stunned. It wasn't that he had no future. Was there another path? The bronze emissary's pupils constricted. How do you know? Who are you? He was too shocked. This kind of secret wasn't something that just anyone could know. Even the second astral realm didn't know. How did he know? Damn it, could it be that he came from the third astral realm, the legendary realm? He couldn't believe it. But why would such a character appear here? That shouldn't be the case. The bronze emissary would never have guessed that Black Mountain was a great sage, and it was the remnant soul of the great sage. Lin Xian also asked, what does Black Mountain mean? What was an abandoned immortal? Speak clearly. He Shan said, we'll talk about this later. The one beside you is the red spider lily, right? I'll help you get rid of it. He would attack you Ryu and the resurrection lily, which instantly collapsed. Black lotus, red spider lily. Lin Xian was even more shocked. It seemed like He Shan knew a lot of things. Perhaps he could find out from He Shan who had sealed him? Why were these black lotuses targeting him? Damn it. Don't think that you can be so arrogant in front of me just because you know a little. I am the bronze emissary, and I have been ordered to guard planet Tianming. I have the final say in this world. At this point, the entire world began to tremble along with him. Boundless laws of heaven and earth gathered in his hand, forming a world in his palm. What do you have to contend with me? The world in his palm finally transformed into a bronze door. Everyone was very familiar with it. After crossing the bronze door, there was a strange space. However, they didn't expect that the bronze door could be used as a weapon in battle. Was this a sage artifact? The powerful aura shocked everyone. They were forced to crawl on the ground. He Shan snorted coldly. My cultivation hasn't recovered yet. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the right to be so arrogant in front of me. Indeed, if he was in his peak state, he could kill the other party with one look. However, he was only a remnant soul now. Even so, he still had some tricks up his sleeve. Ryu in his hand flew out and blocked the bronze door. It even suppressed the bronze door. Impossible. What is this thing? Could it be? The bronze emissary was stunned. Even his bronze door was suppressed. At this moment, another person walked over from afar, coughing as she walked. How lively. An old woman came to take a look. It was an old woman with white hair and a walking stick. Her back was hunched, her face was sallow, and she was coughing. She looked very sick. She took 1 step, 2 steps, and arrived near the bronze emissary in an instant. Stop it. Don't do these things anymore. Otherwise your wife will teach you a lesson. The old woman's voice was low, but it reached everyone's ears clearly. Many people exclaimed. Heavens, has another person appeared who looks down on the bronze emissary? It's really unbelievable. Is this person also here to help Lin Xian? Damn it. What kind of luck does Lin Wudi have to have so many experts protecting him? At this moment, countless people were jealous. Murong Qingqing heaved a sigh of relief. With He Shan around, he was relieved. Now that another mysterious expert had appeared, there shouldn't be any danger. Who are you? How dare you control me? The bronze emissary roared and struck out with his palm. How dare you attack my wife? The old woman was leaning on her walking stick with a flower basket hanging on it. She took out a pair of scissors from the basket and cut in front of her. The scissors suddenly let out a loud dragon roar and turned into 2 huge dragons, cutting the palm into pieces again. The bronze emissary retreated and screamed. Flood dragon scissors. You're the flower tailor. Damn you, you're here too? The bronze emissary's expression turned ugly. The surrounding people were surprised. Who is this person? Some of the top experts exclaimed. Could it be someone from the Heaven Dao Union? What? The Heaven Dao Union? The legendary existence that enforces justice on behalf of the heavens? Everyone had heard of this organization. This organization was very mysterious. It was said that they represented the heavens and earth to protect the safety of the top experts, to prevent some experts from being jealous and crazily attacking them. That's not right. Isn't Lin Wuti a person abandoned by the heavens? He shouldn't be tolerated by the heavens and earth. Why are the Heaven Dao helping him? They should kill him. At this moment, everyone went crazy. They really didn't understand what was going on. Even Lin Xian himself didn't understand. However, he wasn't unfamiliar with the Heaven Dao Union. Previously, when he was attacked by the mortal world, he met an expert from the Heaven Dao Union. At that time, it was a drunkard who gave him a bottle of wine. He didn't expect another flower tailor to appear now. It seemed that this flower tailor was even stronger. Do you still want to attack? The flower tailor continued to ask. Black Mountain sneered at the side. If you attack again, this will be your grave. No one had ever dared to threaten the bronze emissary. However, this time, the bronze emissary admitted defeat. The flower tailor was enough to make him feel like he was facing a great enemy, not to mention the mysterious person beside her. It was as terrifying as the jade in his hand. He snorted coldly. He is a person abandoned by the heavens. Even if you save him today, he will not be tolerated by the heavens and earth. And you will also be punished by the heavens and earth. I'm not afraid of threats. Black Mountain sneered and didn't care. Chapter 4000. Let's go, young man. Tailor Hua and Black Mountain joined forces and took Su Cheng, Murong Qingqing and the others away. The others were extremely surprised. They didn't expect such a thing to happen. Could it be that this Lin Wuti wasn't really a person abandoned by the heavens? Damn it, no, they had to make a move. They definitely couldn't let him live. Originally, they thought that with the bronze envoy's help, the other party was dead for sure. Moreover, the other party had no future. But now, it seemed that this wasn't the case at all. The fact that the people of the Heavenly Dao Alliance had helped meant that there must be a secret. But they didn't know what it was exactly. More importantly, the other party had condensed a Heaven Illuminator. This was an existence that surpassed the Great Sage. Therefore, they absolutely couldn't allow such a person to exist. They had to kill him. In an instant, many holy cities began to plan. After leaving the Heavenly Fate Star, they were about to start a crazy hunt. On the other side, Tailor Hua and Black Mountain joined hands and left the bronze envoy with Lin Xian. However, they didn't leave the Heavenly Fate Star. Instead, they came to a safe place at the edge. Black Mountain used the jade in his hand to form an independent space that enveloped everyone. He said that this place wouldn't be controlled by the Heavenly Fate Star. The toad looked at the jade with red eyes, but it didn't dare to say anything. They all heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian cupped his fists and said, "Thank you, Senior, for your help. Young man, your future is limitless. It's our duty to protect young geniuses like you. Not only you, but if other top geniuses are persecuted like this, we will definitely help." Tailor Hua said, "Senior, what's going on? Black Mountain, do you know? Hurry up and tell me." Lin Xian was too confused. What happened today was completely beyond his expectations. The black lotus that sealed him appeared again, and it was called the Red Spider Lily. He used the Heaven Illuminator to surpass the Great Sage. Then he became a person abandoned by the heavens. Black Mountain said that he was abandoned by the immortals. What was the difference between the two? What surprised him even more was that the Heavenly Dao Alliance, which claimed to enforce justice on behalf of the heavens, was protecting him at this moment. Wasn't this the exact opposite of what the Destiny Stone had shown? Murong Qingqing and the others were also confused, so they all looked at Black Mountain and Flower Tailor. He Shan said, "Kid, there are some things that you know too early. When you have the strength in the future and step into that realm, you will naturally understand." Damn it, old man. Everyone's hearts were itching with anxiety. They didn't expect that the other party wouldn't say anything. Lin Xian also sighed. He had not expected that the other party would actually hold back. However, He Shan added, "Don't worry. If this path doesn't work, there are other paths. You just need to walk down with peace of mind." As for the embroidered tailor at the side, I have something to say. You are indeed not a person abandoned by the heavens, but a person abandoned by the immortals. Although we are known as the Heavenly Dao Union in the outside world, our true name is the Deity Dao Union. We are not in the same league as them. Everyone was stunned. There was too much information in these words. They were all confused. What was the meaning of this? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He felt that he did not know most of the things now. For example, who exactly were the Black Lotus Flower and the Bronze Envoy? However, Xiaoqin understood. The faction behind the Bronze Envoy and the Embroidered Tailor were two different factions. These two factions could represent the heavens. However, there was a subdivision. As for the other sages in the outside world, they did not know. They all thought that these two factions represented the heavenly Tao. That was probably why the previous incident happened. If that was the case, then Lin Xian had nothing to fear. Xiaoqin smiled coldly. So what if he was a person abandoned by the immortals? Since he was not recognized by the Bronze Envoy's faction, then he would take another path. He Shan also said that this path did not work. There were other paths. He Shan wanted to end Xiaoqin's life and death with just one destiny stone? That was too simple. An extremely terrifying light burst out of Lin Xian's eyes. Brat, you are not dispirited or afraid. This makes me feel very gratified. When He Shan saw Lin Xian's expression, he nodded in satisfaction. What is there to be afraid of? You already said that we are not in the same league. What can they do to me? Young man, just cultivate properly. There is no need to be afraid of them. We will help you block those people. Old woman, this is something we can do. Many thanks, senior. Lin Xian performed a cupped fist salute. Given the Bronze Envoy status, it was even scarier than the Holy City. If those people wanted to attack, Xiaoqin would be in great danger. Now, with the Deity Dao Union's guarantee, those mysterious factions should not touch Xiaoqin. However, there was still one more problem. Lin Xian felt very confused. Why did they target him? Lin Xian could not understand. This was especially so for that Black Lotus Flower. Why did it want to seal him? After all, Xiaoqin was not the only one with exceptional talent. Even He Shan was confused about this. He could not explain it either. The Embroidered Tailor who was at the side revealed a look of shock. She sized up Lin Xian again. Perhaps it was that possibility. He Shan did not elaborate. Instead, she instructed him again. Your future path might be very dangerous. However, if you can charge out, it is not impossible for you to become a heaven illuminator in the future. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Becoming a heaven illuminator. Was that really a supreme existence above the great sage? Could Lin Xian really reach that step? Lin Xian also sucked in a deep breath of air, his eyes filled with excitement. Many thanks, senior. Now they just had to wait here. With the Destiny Stone activated, there was not much time left before they left the Destiny Star. Hence they waited patiently. On the other side, the atmosphere at the Bronze Envoy's side was incredibly awkward. The extremely strong Bronze Envoy actually retreated in fear. The surrounding people were all stunned. Most of the important people had already tested the Destiny Stone. As for the others, they did not dare to step forward. If they angered the Bronze Envoy now, not to mention testing the Destiny Stone, they might even lose their lives. This fellow was too strange. The things that happened to him were too strange. Right, that was right. Quickly get rid of him. Everyone thought that Lin Xian did not have a future and would definitely die. However, the Heavenly Dao Union's people chased him away. This meant that there was still hope for him. Furthermore, if he could continue living, could he become a heaven illuminator? When they thought of this possibility, they were extremely terrified. They absolutely could not allow such a person to exist. These people decided that they would immediately attack and kill him when they returned. Just like that, they waited for another 3 days. After 3 days, the seal on the Destiny Star was unlocked. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Were they finally leaving? They had already stayed on the Destiny Star for several years. During this time, they had obtained countless treasures. However, many of their companions had also fallen. Now that they were leaving, it was like a dream. Let's go. These people all soared into the sky. Quickly, they had to get in front of Lin Wudi. Inform the people of the sacred land to join forces to kill him. Chapter 4001. Lei Jin, Nine-Headed Qilin, Yuquan Emotio and the others were moving very fast. Wan Jiani had already started to contact the people of the Myriad Sword Pavilion. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others were also moving. They turned into a stream of light and flew out quickly. Outside the Heavenly Fate planet, countless experts and saints were waiting. Many of them were minor saints and powerful elders. At this moment, their faces were solemn and filled with anxiety. A few years had passed. Those people inside should have obtained some good fortune. Of course, some elders of the sacred city were gnashing their teeth. They all had soul tablets in their hands and knew how many people had died. It was because of this that they were so angry that they vomited blood. The reason for that was because they discovered that the number of deaths far exceeded their expectations. Especially the Yellow Spring Palace and Great Desolate Prefecture, they were gnashing their teeth, because they realized that their chief disciples had died inside. This was intolerable. No matter who it was, they must kill him. These people were all holding sacred weapons ready to move at any time. Finally, their eyelids twitched and they exclaimed, "He's here!" In the mysterious world of stars in the distance, there was a bright light that pierced through the void and flew towards the universe outside. This was great. They knew that the people inside had finally come out. One figure after another flashed past quickly. The aura was unusually strong. It was Lei Zhen. His strength had become stronger. He was now at the late stage of the 9th heaven. He was not far from becoming a minor saint. The people of Thunder God City exclaimed. This was great. He should be able to successfully become a minor saint after coming out of seclusion for a period of time. However, they realized that Lei Zhen's face was not looking good. What's going on? What happened? They were puzzled. A few minor saints quickly flew over. On the other side, 9-headed Qilin also came out. He was also at the late stage of the 5th heaven. The elders of the 1,000 Demon City all surrounded him. What's going on? Why is his face so ugly? What happened? They quickly asked. Alright, why did so many of our geniuses die? 9-headed Qilin's face was ugly. He wanted to cry facing the elders. It was not only the geniuses that died, but he had also lost several lives. Now he only had 4 lives left. How could he reason with them? On the other side, Lei Zhen also gritted his teeth and said, Elder, quickly kill Lin Wuti. He must not be allowed to leave this place alive. On the other side, the 9 Qilins also roared. That's right, attack and kill Lin Wuti, destroy his mind and soul. The 2 great sage city elders cried out in alarm. Could it be that the deaths of our people were all caused by that brat? Yes, that's right. Lei Zhen nodded. However, there was a more important reason. Lin Wuti absolutely could not be allowed to live. There was another reason? What is it? These people exclaimed. The experts of the Great Desolation Mansion and Acheron Palace rushed out. As soon as these people came out, they roared, Elder, hurry up and attack. Find Lin Wuti and tear him to pieces. The surrounding saints were all stunned. It was Lin Wuti again. Heavens, what did Lin Wuti do to provoke so much anger from the crowd? Our chief disciple was killed by him. That's right, he killed us, the chief disciple of the Great Desolate Mansion. Everyone was stunned. The chief disciples of the Acheron Palace and Great Desolate Mansion were all killed by him. It was too unbelievable. What kind of fortune did this Lin Wuti obtain in there? Not only that. Most of the people who died in there were killed by him. These people gritted their teeth. There was a more important reason. They must not let him live. There was another reason. What was the reason? These people were all stunned. They didn't have time to ask. Because more and more people rushed out from the heavenly fate planet. In the next moment they screamed. At this moment there were a few extremely powerful people. After they came out, their cultivation base instantly reached the 5th heavenly layer, reaching the minor saint realm. They roared at the sky. That power made some of the elders of the sacred city shudder. It was too strong. There were really minor saints who had sneaked in. They didn't dare to imagine. Such a person was like a god on the heavenly fate planet. However, they were soon stunned. Because in these 2 moments, the little saint experts raised their heads and roared at the sky. Lin Wuti, I'll fight you to the death. Lin Wuti, today is the day you die. What was going on? It was related to Lin Wuti again. The surrounding people were stunned. Those were minor saints. Lin Wuti even dared to provoke such a person. No, they were on the pilgrim roll. Finally, someone screamed and recognized them. They were on the pilgrim roll. That was Emoshio and Yu Quan. Both of them were geniuses on the pilgrim roll. The pilgrim roll was a very powerful roll. If one was not an extremely powerful saint, it would be impossible to get on it. Lin Wuti was able to incur the wrath of someone on the pilgrim list. What did he do? At this moment, everyone was stunned. They all wanted to know. When the elders of the Myriad Demon City, Thunder God City, Great Desolate Mansion and Acheron Palace heard the news, they also moved. Although they didn't understand now, they had to find Lin Xian and control him first. But suddenly, countless powerful sword chi flashed between heaven and earth, tearing the void apart. They were from the Sword Pavilion. Many people felt their scalps go numb. This was a group of sword saints. When they were angry, everyone would be afraid. When they came out, they were also roaring. Therefore, they would not stop until they killed Lin Wuti. The surrounding sacred city people were about to vomit blood. Lin Wuti again. How many people did Lin Wuti provoke in the past? Why do I feel that he has made the world his enemy? At this moment Wang Jianyi came out. On the other side, Gu Feng also came out. He appeared in a very mysterious way. In just a moment he disappeared into the void. The crowd didn't know if the expert in this space had left or hidden. On the other side, Chao Tianxing also came out with his people. The surrounding people were really surprised. It seemed that all the people on the pilgrim roll had entered. They didn't know what kind of destiny these people had. To be honest, what they were looking forward to the most was the future of these people. After all, this was related to the fate of their sacred city. At the same time, they were also curious about what Lin Xian had done. Wushuang City, Water Sky City, Shibufan and the others also came out. These people were younger than the other disciples of the sacred city, so they had their own strategies. They didn't go to fight for the fortune of the hot spot, but lost some other places. Although this opportunity might not be as great as the others, at least they came safely. Therefore, these people were very satisfied with their breakthroughs. They didn't go to the fortune test, so they didn't know what had happened before. At this moment, when they heard that Lin Xian was being attacked by so many sacred city people, they were also scared. What did eldest senior brother do? No, we have to inform the elders of Wushuang City quickly. The situation was very bad. At this moment, Yu Quan stood out and said loudly, Lin Wudi killed the sacred city's geniuses. His crime was punishable by death. Chapter 4002. The surrounding people were in an uproar, their faces full of shock. They knew that Lin Wudi had killed geniuses. Quite a few chief disciples and powerful saints had died at the hands of the other party. But heaven and earth did not tolerate him. What did that mean? Could it be? Some of the elders of the holy city gasped. Had his destiny been measured? That's right, his destiny had been measured. He was a person abandoned by the heavens. His blood dyed the blue sky. Even the bronze messenger wanted to kill him. How could we not do it? Lin Wudi had no future. These people were all stunned. Soon, these elders of the holy city all laughed out loud. Great, this guy was definitely going to die. When they heard that he had killed so many chief disciples, they were terrified. When such a person grew up, he would be another powerhouse on the pilgrim list. But now he was not tolerated by heaven and earth. Not to mention becoming a powerhouse on the pilgrim list, he might not even be able to walk out of here alive today. How could they know that the truth was far from that? These people wanted to kill Lin Xian because they were angry. But most importantly, they were terrified. After all, Lin Xian was the only person who could transform into a heaven illuminator. Even if they felt that it was too unbelievable and impossible for it to be true. But the other party had at least condensed the glory of the galaxy. This meant that the other party had no problem becoming a great sage. Although they kept saying that the other party was a person abandoned by the heavens. But after all, the Heavenly Tao Alliance had made a move. Such a mysterious organization protected Lin Xian. One could imagine. Lin Xian had endless secrets. They would not allow such a potential threat to appear. That was the reason why these top powerhouses wanted to make a move. The people of the Water Sky City were pale. How could their senior brother become a person abandoned by the heavens? How could it be impossible? Elders, come quickly. They had already sent out the signal. On the other side, the people of the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion were also surprised. Because they realized that their little princess had not come out. That was the daughter of the Saint King. Would there be any problems? There was also a group of people who were incomparably mysterious. There were few of them, but they stood above the 9 heavens. Their bodies were surrounded by green light, and it was impossible to tell whether they were real or fake. Some people knew that these people were from the Kunlun Pavilion. At this moment they were also a little anxious. While they were waiting, a few figures flew out. Everyone turned their heads to look. The next moment they screamed, Lin Wudi, it's him. He finally came out. After hiding for so long, you finally can't take it anymore. Even if he came out late, he would still die. The experts of the sacred city all surrounded him. Those on the pilgrim rankings moved as well. They had to make a move this time. Chao Tianxing was the only one who didn't make a move. He brought his people far away and stood there with his hands clasped behind his back, silently watching the battle. It seemed he wanted to be a spectator. Qin Xianer also did not make a move. Her beautiful eyes were bewitching and no one knew what she was thinking. Lin Xian and the others came out, followed by Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu, the Northern Devil and the Dark Red Dragon. The Toad didn't come out and remained on Celestial Fate. Black Mountain, Taylor Flower also disappeared. As soon as these people came out, they were besieged by the all heavens. Countless terrifying auras enveloped them. As long as they didn't agree with each other, they would probably attack immediately. Such violent power could instantly turn them into a bloody mist. Lin Wuti, kneel down and accept your death. Yu Quan roared. Mo Xiu also stood out. You were abandoned by the heavens, so we should enforce justice on behalf of the heavens. Hand over what you have and we'll give you a quick death. Wan Jinni also walked out. He was very jealous of Lin Xian's dragon-shaped sword shadow. The sword chi emitted from it made him very tempted. Not to mention there were also Lei Jin, the 9 Qilins and the first prince around, as well as the experts of the other sacred city. No one could contend against such a lineup. They were too strong. They were simply enemies of the heavens' punisher. Senior brother. In the distance, Wang Xiaofeng and the others screamed. Lin Xian finally came out, but the situation was too terrible. Even if the people of Peerless City came, they wouldn't be able to see enough. They discovered that, with the exception of a very small number of sacred grounds present, most of them were actually going to make a move. Prepare to die. Angry shouts sounded one after another. The dark rainbow divine dragon roared. Do you want to die? Do you know who you're facing? A person abandoned by the heavens should die. The people of Acheron Hall sneered. The people of Demon City also snorted. Idiots. The divine dragon roared, and you listened to them? They just didn't dare to say it. A person abandoned by the heavens. Let me tell you, this kid has condensed and illuminated the heavens. In the future he will become a supreme existence above the great sage. Do you dare to make a move against a young great emperor? Do you want to die? As soon as these words came out, the surrounding saints all trembled. What was going on? Wasn't Lin Wuti abandoned by the heavens? How did he become a young great emperor? Seeing the shock of the surrounding people, the dark red divine dragon's mouth raised into a sneer. How is it? Do you know fear now? If you know fear, hurry up and get lost. Otherwise, I'll destroy all of your sacred lands in the future. Lei Jin, what exactly was going on? Yes, why was it different from what you said? The elders of the sacred city began to ask. They were too shocked now. Lei Jin, the 9-headed spirit, and the others had ugly expressions. The elders were fickle. He did have some talent, but he was indeed a person abandoned by the heavens. This was something that everyone who entered the Destiny Star knew. They all saw that the Bronze Envoy had attacked him. Someone who even wanted to kill the Bronze Envoy. Do you think he still has a future? As soon as these words came out, many people calmed down. A loach dared to mislead people here. No matter what you say today, you will die without a doubt. You are the loach, your whole family are loaches. The dark red divine dragon roared, and his body suddenly grew bigger. He turned into a true dragon, roaring at the sky, mighty and extraordinary. What a terrifying aura. The people of the 1,000 Demon City trembled in fear. This was a dragon. Was he one of the dragons? These people were all frightened. They didn't expect that by Lin Xian's side. He actually followed the dragon's people. If you dare to make a move on Brother Xian, ask me first. The 7-colored light on Murong Qingqing's body bloomed. It turned into the shadow of a colorful phoenix. It covered the ground and a loud phoenix cry sounded. At this moment, everyone trembled in fear again. Heaven, Phoenix, were they from the Phoenix clan? The true dragon and Phoenix had all come out, and they were all by Lin Xian's side. That scene was too shocking. Now, who dared to say that they were abandoned by the heavens? Li Hongxiu also walked out. She also had a terrifying aura on her body. It was her, the little princess of the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion, the daughter of the Saint King. The northern demon didn't say anything, but he also stood out. Behind him was a divine tree that connected the heavens and the earth, covering the sky. It was abnormally strange. Everyone was stunned. Why were the people around Lin Xian so terrifying? They felt that each of them was not weaker than the chief disciple. They were even much stronger. Chapter 4003. So what if the Bronze Emissary attacked? The people of the Heavenly Dao Alliance saved him personally. Think carefully. If you attack now, you will be attacking the group of young great emperors. In the future, all of your inheritances will be destroyed. The Heavenly Dao Alliance is protecting him. Does he really have the potential of a great emperor? Damn it. These people were too frightened. Wan Jinni snorted. No matter what you say, even if you are a young great emperor today, you will definitely die. How can a person without a future talk about talent? Yes, no matter who you are. You will definitely die today. The surrounding experts and saints all stood out. Today they wanted to eliminate the root of the problem to prevent future troubles. Ah! Lin Xian threw his head back and roared with laughter. After saying so much, aren't you all afraid of me? You all still pretend to be righteous and enforce justice on behalf of the heavens? What a bunch of despicable and shameless people. You all said that I killed your genius? Your chief disciple? Why don't you all ask what your genius and chief disciple did? You all joined forces with dozens of saints to kill me? I fought back. What's wrong with that? His voice was like a clap of thunder, spreading in all directions. Everyone was stunned. Lin Xian looked around. Lei Jin, you said that you didn't dare to attack me. Now, you dare to come out and make a fuss? You have a chance. I will definitely kill you. Lei Jin was so angry that his body was trembling. Lin Xian then looked at the 9 Qilins. Now that they were jumping around so happily, how many of them were left? If you dare to be arrogant with the remaining 4 lives, I will kill you all together. I will turn you into a lonely soul and a ghost. The 9 Qilins vomited blood when they heard this. The people of the Myriad Demon City were also frightened. What's going on? Only 4 of the 9 Qilins are left. They lost 5 lives in there? Oh heavens! It was like a bolt from the blue that they couldn't accept. Lin Xian continued to look around and came to the Pilgrim Board. Yu Quan? The genius of the Pilgrim Board is very powerful. You still can't suppress me in there. At most we are tied. But you are a small saint. How dare you talk to me like this? What? Lin Wudi can fight Yu Quan to a tie? Everyone went crazy. Was this guy trying to defy the heavens? Could he really be a young great emperor? Then he looked at the 10,000 Swords Pavilion. Are you sword saints very powerful? What Tianshan's 7 swords and 10 great sword saints? Didn't I kill them all? And you Jianqin, the head disciple, weren't you also scared witless by my lightning? If it weren't for your senior brother, you would have died long ago. Everyone was terrified once again. The sword saints of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion were so powerful and terrifying. But they were all eaten by Lin Xian. Jianqin was also trembling with anger, but he couldn't say anything. Lin Xian looked at Wang Jiani. Although you're strong, you're also despicable and shameless. You want to kill me because you want the treasure in my hands. However, you will never get it in this lifetime. I am a heaven illuminator, unparalleled in the future. That stupid bronze emissary wanted to attack me because he was jealous of me. Do you guys not know the difference between life and death? Taking 10,000 steps back, even if I don't condense the heaven illuminator, then I at least have the glory of the Milky Way. That's the position of the great sage. Ask yourself, if everyone goes in, how many can condense it? Only me. There's also a spatial powerhouse. As for this one Jiani, he can only condense a trace of light. Your talent is so much worse than mine. What right do you have to be arrogant in front of me? Lin Xian's voice made everyone go crazy. These people from the holy city felt that their brains were not enough to process. This information was too broad. Lin Xian's next words made them bleed. Wang Jiani was also about to go crazy. Lin Xian said, of course that spatial powerhouse is also not my match. Because what I condensed is really a heaven illuminator. It's above him. If you guys want to attack me, think clearly about the consequences. Lin Xian's words stunned everyone. It seemed that this kid had obtained a great fortune inside and killed everyone. The head disciple was not his match at all. Even the people on the pilgrim list could not do anything to him. Moreover, he really had the talent of the ancient land. Even if he was not a great emperor, he was still a great sage. If such a person grew up, who could contend against him in the second astral realm? What are you being arrogant for? I was seriously injured back then and suppressed my cultivation. Otherwise, would you be my match now? UK roared. He could not afford to lose face. In the void, an inexplicable voice also came. After saying so much, didn't you just want a way out? You can't leave today. A strange voice came from the void. Who was it? The dark red divine dragon roared. Lin Xian's face was cold. Gu Feng, was the other party going to attack him as well? His eyes were filled with killing intent. When the others heard this, they all took action. No matter what you say, you can't escape death today. Kill him and divide the treasures on his body. Jianqin roared. The others were about to take action. At this time, a loud shout came from afar. Who dared to make a move? Following that, countless red leaves danced in the sky. One terrifying divine ability after another opened up a path for him. The sky was filled with red leaves. Fu Hongya was here. Many people exclaimed. He was the genius of the previous generation on the pilgrim list. His current strength was unimaginable. Behind Fu Hongya, there were some second-generation disciples and some elders of Wushuang City. After they arrived, they looked at Lin Xian. Who dares to touch the people of Wushuang City? These people roared crazily. They received the call for help from Shui Tiancheng and the others and immediately rushed over. It seemed that Lin Xian was in big trouble. Senior brother. The people of Wushuang City also rushed over. Lin Xian also said, Senior brother Fu, you're here. Fu Hongye nodded, then he looked at Yu Quan and Mo Xiu and the others. Are the two of you going to make a move? Why don't I play with you? The aura on his body was too terrifying. Yu Quan and Mo Xiu's scalps went numb. Are you trying to bully us? The two of them screamed. Fu Hongye also laughed when he heard that. You're bullying us? Aren't you bullying us by attacking my junior brother? I want to see what kind of monsters are on this year's pilgrim list. Fu Hongye's gaze swept across the surroundings. At this moment, Yu Quan and Mo Xiu and the others frantically retreated. People like Lei Zhan and the others couldn't resist at all. Even Wan Jianyi was facing a great enemy. He performed 10,000 swords to resist with all his might. At the same time he felt a chill on his back. Was this person really that terrifying? You're the genius of the previous generation. It's normal for us to be inferior to you. Yu Quan gritted his teeth and said. The other elders of the holy cities also surrounded. Fu Hongye, today is not the place for you to behave atrociously. It has nothing to do with you. We only want to kill Lin Wudi. What should we do? The elders of Wushuang City were extremely anxious. If it were 1 or 2 holy cities they could resist. Even if it were 3 or 5 holy cities, they would have a chance to kill their way out. But now, more than 10 holy cities wanted to attack them. Unless the Sage King came personally, no one could guarantee Lin Xian's safety. Recommendations, monthly votes, subscriptions, collections, gifts. Chapter 4004. Lin Xian looked at the ferocious faces of the people around him and said coldly, Very well, I will remember you. I will not spare any of you. Are you really going to attack me? How dare you threaten us? You will die today. The 10,000 Swords Pavilion and the 10,000 Demon City roared crazily. Lin Xian's lips curled up into a cold smile. I have already given you a chance. If you don't cherish it, then don't blame me. He raised his head and looked at Fu Hongye. He said in a deep voice, Senior brother, take the people from Water Sky City and leave with these elders first. I can handle it. Junior brother, don't talk nonsense. Our Wushuang City is not afraid of them. I have already informed the experts in the holy city. They will be here soon. Senior brother, believe me, I will not joke with my life. I have some trump cards, but I can't protect too many people. Only when you leave can I be at ease. Lin Xian transmitted his voice. Fu Hongye then said, Okay, then we will retreat first. You can't joke with me. Don't worry, senior brother. I will definitely be able to return to Wushuang City alive. Fu Hongye nodded. He looked around and said coldly, All of you listen up. My Wushuang City will not let this go. Go. With a wave of his hand, he took Shui and the other geniuses and quickly soared into the sky and flew into the distance. Let them go? The people from the holy city gritted their teeth. It doesn't matter. If these people from Wushuang City leave, then so be it. Our most important target is this Lin Wudi. As long as he doesn't leave. These people ignored Fu Hongye and the others. Instead they stared at Lin Xian. They were afraid that he would suddenly escape. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He ignored them. Instead he said to Murong Qingqing beside him, Qingqing, hurry up and go back. Hongxiu, you go back too. Brother Xian. Murong Qingqing was a little worried. Li Hongxiu also said, Can this kid do it? Otherwise, my heavenly fragrance pavilion will help you. Don't worry, don't you understand me? Don't forget my trump card. The two beauties nodded. They knew that Lin Xian had a type of pagoda with powerful defense. Not to mention the existence of Black Mountain. Black Mountain was only hiding now. When Thunder made his move, he would definitely let these people know what despair was. Be careful then. Murong Qingqing was reluctant to leave, but she still returned to the side of those mysterious figures. The mysterious people heaved a sigh of relief. They were afraid that Murong Qingqing would insist. On the other side, the people from the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion also heaved a sigh of relief. The two holy cities quickly left. Let's go. Qin Xianer thought for a moment, then led the people of Joyous Union Palace and flew into the distance. On the other side, Chao Tianxing and the others were also retreating. The others couldn't wait any longer. Previously they were afraid of Murong Qingqing and Li Hongxiu's status. Now that the two of them were gone, they could attack without any hesitation. Kill this brat. Don't kill it, catch it alive. Several voices echoed as countless sacred weapons and mystical skills were unleashed. Kid, do it quickly. The dark red dragon roared, and the northern demon's expression was solemn. Lin Xian opened the great sage tower in an instant, and the three of them entered. Terrifying Saint Chi and precepts bombarded the great sage tower, causing the entire world to shatter. The hall kept bobbing up and down, drowned in endless energy. Inside, their blood was boiling and their faces were pale. But they weren't worried. This was the great sage artifact. Even if these people doubled their numbers, they wouldn't be able to blast it open. However, this wasn't a solution. They were too aggrieved to be beaten up passively. "Old man, aren't you going to make a move?" Lin Xian roared. Endless energy surged outside and these people laughed sinisterly. Some wanted to get the treasure while others just wanted to kill Lin Xian, so they attacked wildly. This time he should be dead. However, they soon heard a voice. "You bastards, I'll remember this. When the time comes, I'll make you suffer." Damn it, this brat is still alive? Is he made of divine metal? He's still alive. These people screamed in horror and attacked again. Countless sword chi, terrifying supernatural powers, and terrifying Saint Chi crazily descended. However, at this moment, a large hand reached out from the void in the distance. With a boom, it slapped down. In an instant, countless Saint Chi was slapped away. Many saints' bodies turned into blood mist, and they screamed in pain. "Damn it, who is it?" Lei Zhen and the others' expressions changed drastically. "Oh no, it's that mysterious expert. Retreat quickly." They wanted to retreat, but it was already too late. The pitch-black hand held a jade-like object and kept waving it. Nothing could compete with it. The saint artifacts shattered, and the precepts in the sky were annihilated. The saints who attacked exploded into blood mist one after another. The remaining survivors also screamed. "What did you say?" Lin Wudi had a super expert by his side. And he even attacked the bronze messenger. "Damn it. Little brat, why didn't you say so earlier? I was screwed over by you." The elders screamed crazily. How could no one tell them such important information? Who was the bronze messenger? How heaven-defying must one be to be able to injure the bronze messenger? Were they tired of living to fight against such a person? Run. These people fled crazily. However, the jade-like object was too mysterious and dazzling. It kept dancing and directly shattered everything. Between heaven and earth, blood mist filled the air and corpses fell. Screams rang out one after another. These saints were originally full of confidence, so they didn't leave at this moment. But now, most of them were killed. There were even many small saints who died here. Their souls wanted to escape, but they were directly destroyed by the jade-like object. Run. The pupils of Wan Jianyi and the others shrank. Yu Quan and the others were also seriously injured and they fled crazily. Mo Wuxia, Lei Zhen, and 9 Qilins fled desperately. This battle ended very quickly and they basically collapsed in an instant. These Saint City experts and small saints were no match for them at all. They could only burn themselves to protect some important geniuses and escape. In the end, except for these geniuses and a small number of saints who escaped, most of them died there. The dead starry sky had completely turned into hell. Damn it. The rest of the people were terrified. Their hearts were bleeding. Dozens of minor saints had died in this battle. The number of saints who died was innumerable. Even though they were saints, they couldn't bear it. These people didn't dare to stay any longer. The mysterious expert behind them was too terrifying. If they stayed any longer, their souls would probably be destroyed. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood. In the shattered void, the great sage pagoda appeared. The few figures inside looked outside and sneered. "How dare you fight against us? Are you courting death?" Now most of them were dead. The Crimson God said, "Old Black, continue to kill them. Kill those on the pilgrim list." The black figure also appeared. He said, "I'm old and useless. If I'm still alive, I can destroy them with a glance. Now I'm just a remnant soul. It's not easy for me to do this. And this is with the help of the Rui Scepter and the Golden Palace." Chapter 4005. Master, are you alright? The North Demon was also worried. Lin Xian said, "Black Mountain, it's all thanks to you this time. Take a rest. I'll deal with the remaining people who escaped personally." Most of those who had escaped were young geniuses. Lin Xian believed that he would be able to kill them in the future. What about Brother Toad? Is he really not coming with us? The dark red dragon was disappointed. After all, he liked Toad very much. The two of them called each other brothers. Little White sighed. "Yeah, Toad isn't coming." "Who said that I'm not coming?" Toad shouted and rushed out. "Damn Toad, where did you go?" The dark red dragon captured Toad and brought him to the great sage pagoda. Toad said, "Isn't it because I'm your backer? Open the Roland's Golden Palace." Without me, he wouldn't have been able to borrow the power of the Roland's Golden Palace. He Shan's figure also appeared and entered the hall. Indeed, it's all thanks to this toad. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to use my power just now. As he said that, he waved the jade rui in his hand. Toad's eyes turned red. Damn, didn't we agree that I would help you open the Roland's Golden Palace and you would return this rui? You old thing, how dare you go back on your words? Toad jumped up and wanted to fight. The dark red dragon advised, forget it, brother. We can't beat him. Besides, he helped us this time. Just give him this jade. Toad said, what do you know? This jade has a great background. I'm afraid that he won't be able to eat it and will stuff himself to death. The few of them were stunned. The dark red dragon said, that can't be. This old man is the remnant soul of the great sage. He can't even swallow it? He can't. Toad gritted his teeth and said, even if you're the living great sage, you can't swallow it. It's best to return it. Everyone gasped when they heard this. Even Lin Xian was shocked. So, who is the sleeping existence in the Roland's Golden Palace? Could it be an existence that has surpassed the great sage? They didn't dare to imagine. He Shan seemed to have known about it. That was why he said that the little toad had no intention of swallowing this jade. This Ruyu is currently sealed. As for me, I'm just a remnant soul. I'll borrow it for a period of time. When I recover, I will return this Yuru jade. If you better keep your word. The toad snorted coldly. The dark red divine dragon Lin Xian and the others were even more surprised when they heard this. Even Black Mountain was so polite. It seems that the existence in the Roland's Golden Palace is really something. Kid, what should we do next? The dark red divine dragon asked. Let's make a trip back to Wushuang City. They also streaked across the void and flew into the distance. At the same time, news of the celestial fate star spread throughout the starry sky. The entire second astral realm was in an uproar. Had the celestial fate star opened once more? Had those experts returned? Heavens, I wonder how many people have the chance to become Saint Kings this time. Countless people were excited. After all, this wasn't the first time they had come to the heavenly fate planet. They were familiar with the situation. They naturally knew that the most important thing was the future and destiny of these people. Soon the news spread. 9 Qilins had the destiny to become a Saint King. What surprised everyone? As expected of 9 Qilins, their bloodline was super strong. It seemed that in the future, they would be the next city lord of the Thousand Demon City. Many people were moved. At the same time, more and more news spread. For example, Jian Qin of the Myriad Sword Pavilion also had the talent of a Saint King. These chief disciples were all too incredible. Yes, but a few of them died. What a pity. I heard that they were killed by Lin Wudi. No way, that Lin Wudi was too strong. What destiny did he have? These people were puzzled. Some people asked, where's Lei Zhen? Why haven't I heard of Lei Zhen? I heard that Lei Zhen only has the destiny of a Saint King. But he has a slight chance of becoming a Saint Ninja King. But it seems that hope is fleeting. No way, Lei Zhen is so talented, but he can't become a Saint King with the soaring lightning body? What do you think? Is a Saint King cabbage? Not many chief disciples have this kind of talent. However, those people on the pilgrim list all have the destiny of becoming a Saint King. Not only that, I heard that Wan Jianyi has condensed a trace of the Milky Way. He has the possibility of becoming a great sage. This Wan Jianyi is really too terrifying. As for the other people, these warriors were all excited. This kind of discussion happened in every corner of the world. Gu Feng, that mysterious spatial powerhouse, seems to be the strongest. His Milky Way splendor is stronger than Wan Jianyi. It's not a problem to become a great sage. As expected of a spatial powerhouse, their bloodline talent is really too strong. The others would probably be suppressed by these two people. Not necessarily. I heard that Chao Tianxing didn't take the test at all. What? Someone rejected. What? There were many explanations, but no one knew. For a time, everyone was talking about Gu Feng and Wan Jianyi because these two people's talents were too strong. Of course, there was also Chao Tianxing's name. Because this person is even stranger, he didn't even take the test. What's the reason? Apart from these 3 people, the most talked about was not Jian Qin, nor was it 9-headed Qilin. It was Lin Wudi. Quickly tell me about Lin Wudi's situation? Yes. I heard that several chief disciples were killed by him. I heard that the 7 swords of Heavenly Mountain and the 10 great sword saints were killed by him. The people who returned from planet Tianming began to spread the news. The people of the second astral realm were stunned. The things that happened on planet Tianming were infinitely attractive to them. At this moment after they heard about Lin Wudi, they were even more shocked. So powerful? This Lin Wudi is too strong. What kind of destiny is he? Not only that, I'll tell you more. Do you know the Golden Crow 7th Prince? Everyone nodded. Yes, that's the Golden Crow Crown Prince, the son of the Sage King. Such a powerful person was killed by Lin Wudi. Moreover, he was killed early on. 90% of the Golden Crow clan died. In the end, only 1 or 2 Golden Crows escaped. Heavens! Even the 7th Crown Prince died in his hands. Everyone went crazy. This battle record is too dazzling. Haha, I'll tell you another piece of news. Another expert had returned from the Celestial Fate planet. Do you know the Golden Peng of the 1,000 Demon City, the Fire Phoenix of the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, and the Peacock Race's expert? These are all super genius experts. Could it be that they were also killed by Lin Xian? That's right. At this moment, Lin Wudi's reputation seemed to have surpassed Gu Feng and the other two. It had reached an unbelievable level. It can't be helped. Gu Feng and the other two were geniuses on the pilgrim role. They were powerful and had long been deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. Therefore, no matter what earth-shattering things these 3 people did, they felt that it was natural. But Lin Xian was different. Lin Xian was a rising star. He was even the youngest among the chief disciples. Yet, one after another, the other party did things that shocked everyone's eyeballs. Chapter 4006. Now, everyone wanted to know what Lin Wudi's destiny was. I guess it should be a Saint King. It was possible. After all, the 9 Qilins and Jianshen could all reach the Saint King level. He should be able to reach it too. Do you think it's possible for him to condense the glory of the galaxy? Some people guessed. Impossible. Even Wan Jinni only had a slight possibility. The only one who could really do it was a spatial powerhouse. No matter how strong Lin Wudi was, it was impossible. Indeed, everyone kept nodding. They were looking forward to more news. Not long after, another piece of news came out. It was said that more than 10 holy cities had surrounded the Destiny Star and were besieging Lin Wudi. Lin Wudi was surrounded by so many holy city powerhouses. He would definitely die. Ah, he deserved it. Look at how many geniuses and powerhouses he had killed. It would be strange if he wasn't besieged. Some people exclaimed while others gloated. Indeed, everyone counted and found that most of the powerhouses of the holy city had died in the hands of the other party. How could the people of the holy city tolerate it? It was over. He would definitely die. Even if he didn't die, he would be skinned alive. Everyone was discussing. There was also news. Do you know why these people were chasing him? Revenge was one reason, and another reason was that Lin Wudi was abandoned by the heavens. His destiny had no future. What was going on? Abandoned by the heavens? What the hell was that? The people of the second astral realm were stunned. They had heard of many holy venerables, saint kings, and even the great sage's destiny. But they had never heard of a person abandoned by the heavens. Idiot, you still don't understand? Heaven and earth didn't tolerate him. He was abandoned by the heavens. When this news came out, everyone was in an uproar. Lin Wudi was abandoned by heaven and earth? They almost spat out a mouthful of blood. So many powerhouses and geniuses had died in the hands of the other party. The other party was simply a chosen one. How could he be abandoned by the heavens? They didn't believe this news at all. However, there were many people who watched the destiny test back then. Some saints even came back alive. As the news spread, everyone became suspicious. No way. They heard that the emissaries inside had attacked and killed Lin Wudi. Then how did he survive? There was another expert behind Lin Wudi. What kind of destiny did Lin Wudi have? What? Lin Wudi's heavens will surpass the brilliance of the galaxy. What was a heaven illuminator? It sounded so domineering. As for some details, they were also exposed. They knew that the splendor of the galaxy had reached the level of the great sage. This heaven illuminator was above the great sage. Countless people cried out in alarm. They heard Lin Xian's phantom receiving the worship of countless worlds. Then blood dyed the sky red. Lin Xian's illusion was enveloped by endless blood, forming a huge blood circle between heaven and earth. Kill. It was said that at that time the bronze emissary was alerted. The dead bronze emissary wanted to kill Lin Xian. In the end, Lin Xian was only able to escape because of the protection of an expert. It can't be, right? What on earth did this guy do that the heavens and earth couldn't tolerate him? He had killed too many people. He reckoned that he had angered the heavenly Tao. Some people discussed and guessed. However, there were also people who were alarmed. Lin Wudi's talent was above the great sages. Could it be that he was a young great emperor? When these words came out, everyone was terrified. Now they finally understood why. The sacred cities wanted to kill him. If he was allowed to grow, the future would be unimaginable. Quickly go and investigate the situation near planet Tianming. These people were all excited. When the people of Peerless City heard the news, they were even more furious. They all moved out. Soon the news spread. There were mountains of corpses and seas of blood around planet Tianming. Countless saints had died, and many corpses of minor saints were found. Was the battle so intense? Was Lin Wudi dead? That was what they were most concerned about. But soon he saw Lei Zhen, the 9 Qilins, and the others fleeing in panic. Even Wan Jiani, Yu Quan, and the others on the sacred rankings ran back with pale faces. They were all heavily injured. This scene caused an uproar in the astral plane. So many geniuses were injured. It's over. I feel that Lin Wudi is going to turn the tables. On this day, another piece of news spread. Many sacred cities joined forces and returned in defeat. More than 90% of the saints were dead. Only a few geniuses and a few saints returned alive. The others were soaked in blood in the void. Was this Lin Wudi's doing? Everyone went crazy. Was the other party already this strong? No, it wasn't Lin Wudi. Didn't I say that there was an expert behind Lin Wudi who could injure the bronze envoy? It was said that the people of the Heavenly Tao Union were also protecting him. Perhaps it was these 2 experts who did it? Did the people of the Heavenly Tao Union also appear? It seemed that some of the sacred cities couldn't act rashly. That was because if Sage Wang Ran attacked and killed such a young genius, no one would be able to stop him. However, even if he killed him now, he had to think about the consequences. It was very likely that the holy city had been destroyed by someone. Even if the Sage Kings didn't take action, the other experts could. I also heard that someone wanted to kill Lin Wudi. After all, the Golden Crow race and the Peacock race weren't pushovers. There was even a phoenix that died in the hands of the other party. How could the 10,000 ancient races let this matter go? In the second star realm, because of Lin Xian, the situation was stirred up. Previously, Gu Feng, Player 1, Chao Tianxing, and the others' names had been suppressed by him. Not to mention Yu Quan, Emoshio, and the others. Basically, no one mentioned them. After those people received the news, they almost vomited blood. Their limelight had been snatched away by a single person. Limitless Sect. Chao Tianxing had returned a long time ago. He said to pay close attention to Lin Wudi's news. If there was any movement, report it to him. After saying that, he went into seclusion. In the 10,000 Swords Pavilion, Jian Cheng and Wan Jiani had also returned. Wan Jiani's face was frighteningly sinister. That damn kid really didn't know life from death. If I don't break through, I won't come out. Junior brother, don't worry about it. Come out when you become a minor saint. Wan Jiani and Jian Chen were both in seclusion. In fact, they weren't the only ones. Emoshio, Qin Xiener, Yu Quan, and the others were also in seclusion. Lei Zhen and the 9 Qilins were also in seclusion when they returned. They were first treated by the sect and then went into seclusion. These people had all gone crazy. They were training like crazy. Firstly, they were indeed stimulated by Lin Xian. Lin Xian's strength made them jealous. Secondly, they had received too many summons from the heavenly fate star. Although they had gone into seclusion before, they couldn't cultivate wholeheartedly in that kind of place. Therefore, when they returned, the first thing they did was to enter seclusion. They wanted to completely absorb and refine the fortune they had obtained. As expected, more and more experts came back to seclusion. Therefore, the news about Lin Xian didn't increase. Chapter 4007. There were also some seniors who hadn't entered the celestial fate planet, and they also had designs on Lin Xian. After all, he was so strong and he must have obtained more fortunes. They wanted to snatch some fortunes from him. Wushuang City immediately issued a warning. They forbade the seniors from making a move, or they would chase him to the ends of the earth. At the same time, the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion and the Kunlun Pavilion also announced that they would work together to protect Lin Xian. Everyone was surprised. It seemed that Lin Wudi wasn't without friends. However, most of the saints sneered because Lin Wudi had more enemies. In the distant starry sky, a crazy roar suddenly came from a sun. Damn it. The nearby planetary systems all heard it. In fact, some of the planets in the vicinity suddenly cracked, unable to withstand the power of the explosion. This was the power of a Saint King. The saint spirits in the starry sky trembled. They knew that it was the Golden Crow Saint King. The Golden Crow Prince and most of the Golden Crows had died on the celestial fate planet, which naturally angered the Golden Crows. Sure enough, the next day the Golden Crows sent out peerless experts. 7 minor saints left the Golden Crows and flew to different places in the universe to search for Lin Wuti. At the same time, a powerful sword saint from the 10,000 Swords Pavilion also made a move. He was also a minor saint called the Blood Sword Saint. He belonged to the path of slaughter. The Demon City and the Great Desolation Mansion both sent out minor saints. This was because they had learned that Lin Wuti's strength was enough to contend with a level 5 peak. Therefore, a 5th heavenly layer saint was simply not enough. If they were too strong, they would probably anger the people behind them. Therefore, they felt that it was very appropriate to send out minor saints. Firstly, they could suppress the opponent in terms of cultivation, and they wouldn't be afraid of angering the super experts. They could kill the opponent in a reasonable way, and the others wouldn't have anything to say. Many people couldn't find Lin Wuti at all, and speculated that he must have returned to Wushuang City. Therefore, they returned to Wushuang City and didn't kill him. They waited for him to come. In the sky, a pitch-black starry sky was flowing continuously. This time, the heavenly demon overturn was the territory of the heavenly demons. At this moment, the witch was both excited and nervous. Pieces of information gathered in his or her hands. She quickly spread the news throughout the Heavenly Fiend clan. The experts and elders of the Heavenly Fiend clan were incomparably shocked. The 4 great protectors were alarmed. Is the patriarch out? What happened to the ancestor? What kind of destiny was this? They were excited. Was the patriarch abandoned by the heavens? Nonsense. Don't listen to his nonsense. How could our old ancestor be someone abandoned by the heavens? The ancestor was the great sage's mandate of heaven? Furthermore, there was a possibility that he was stronger than the great sage. Didn't that mean there was a possibility of him becoming a great emperor? The members of the Heaven Devil race were all stupefied. Was the old ancestor already so powerful? No, it's that brat. That brat's bloodline talent is super strong. That's great. Our ancestor has really found a good body this time. The patriarch was being chased by so many people from the holy city? Damn it, do they want to die? These people from the Heaven Devil race were infuriated. Go and save the patriarch. They were both shocked and stunned. They felt as if their emotions were as hot and cold as ice. It was truly too torturous. What was going on now? No one knew where Lin Xian was. They only knew that many holy city had sent little saints to hunt him down. Damn it. Did they really think that the Heaven Devil race had no one? Go, send the 4 great demon saints to intercept those people. Don't hold back, just kill them. Soon, the 4 little saints from the Heaven Devil race left quickly. The 4 great demon saints. On the other side, Peerless City had also sent people. This time they sent 3 people. Apart from Fu Hongye, the other 2 were second-generation disciples. Their strength was very strong. All 3 of them had reached the Little Saint realm. Similarly, they began to snipe the enemy after they went out. For a time, there were battles breaking out in the second astral realm from time to time. Heavens! A little saint from the Thunder God City was killed by someone? The news instantly caused a great commotion. Who was it? Was it Lin Wuti who did it? No, it could be someone from the devil race. It was said that the place where the little saint from Thunder God died was filled with demonic chi. It was abnormally terrifying. Everyone gasped. At the same time, another piece of news came out. A little saint from the Great Desolation Prefecture was killed by someone. A red leaf was left at the place where he died. It was Fu Hongye. It seemed that Peerless City had also made their move after the Heaven Devil race. It caused the crowd to scream in horror. Soon another piece of news came out. A little saint from the Golden Crow race was killed again. Another red leaf fell. This Fu Hongye was too strong. Even a little saint from the Golden Crow race was no match for him. How strong was he? These people had gone crazy. After the Golden Crow race received the news, they were also furious and sent another 5 little saints. For a time the atmosphere became even more tense. However, the Saint Kings had not made their move yet. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that at this level even the news of Lin Wuti could not alarm them. Of course, most of them knew that the Saint Kings could not make their move at will. After all, such people were the overlords of the stars. Once they made their move, no one would be able to resist them. If the Saint Kings made their move on their juniors, it would definitely cause panic among the other saints. By then there would be a great war between the saints. None of the saints' juniors would survive. Therefore, the Saint Kings were not allowed to make a move on those below the Saint King level. This was the tacit rule. In fact, Saint Venerables and Little Saints were the same. Basically, they would not make a move on their juniors. However, this time Lin Xian was an exception. He, a fifth heaven cultivator, had attracted the attention of a little saint. There was no one left on the celestial fate planet. However, at this time, a mysterious cave suddenly appeared below. Following that, a beautiful figure rushed out. She finally made it. She was almost sealed here. The beautiful figure was none other than Xin Jingqiu. At this moment, Xin Jingqiu was covered in a layer of mysterious light. Her strength had reached the peak of the fifth heaven. It seemed that she could enter the little saint realm at any time. It was really incredible. This realm was stronger than the nine-headed Qilin, Jianqin, and the others. It seemed that she was very close to the little saint realm. Xin Jingqiu streaked across the void and left. The celestial fate planet was about to be sealed again. It would open again after 500 years. However, at this moment, the bronze envoy stood in the depths of the celestial fate planet. He exuded an extremely terrifying killing intent. A person abandoned by heaven and a Permetha flower appeared. It looked like he had to be killed. Right now he is still in hibernation. We cannot make a move easily. Furthermore, the deity Dao Union's people might target us. It looked like we could only think of a way to kill him with a borrowed knife. That fellow should have offended several holy cities. It looked like we needed those holy cities to make a move to deal with this problem. The bronze envoy smiled coldly. The other party would not live for long. Eventually, the celestial fate planet closed again. A beam of light streaked across the starry heavens. That was a black spirit ship, the Black Earth. Lin Xian and the others sat cross-legged on it. In the past few days they had received a lot of news. Their expressions were incredibly cold. These holy cities were still unwilling to give up. To think that they sent out so many little saints to kill them. No, I can't return to Matchless City now. Lin Xian guessed that Wushuang City had to pass through a place filled with murderous traps. If he returned, he would be walking right into a trap. Chapter 4008. Kid, where are we going? It's not safe to keep drifting in the universe. If they were discovered, they would be hunted down again. Indeed, although they had the Great Sage Pagoda's defense, it was still unpleasant to be hunted down. No one thought about it and said, "Come, let's go to the Sky Devil race." These people wouldn't expect him to go to the Sky Devil race. Therefore they flew quickly. When they arrived at the Sky Devil covered area, the people of the Sky Devil race were stunned. Soon they burst into cheers. "Patriarch, you're here." Lin Xian, the North Demon, the Dark Red Divine Dragon, and the Toad stood there. Black Mountain had already entered seclusion. This time he had also obtained many fortunes on planet Tianming. It seemed that he was going to carry out his grand plan. His resurrection plan. He wanted to truly come back to life. Lin Xian didn't disturb him and let him cultivate in peace. He wouldn't disturb him unless it was a matter of life and death. The current Sky Devil race was really huge. The four great guardian elders stood at the front, and behind them was a dense crowd of Sky Devil race experts. It was a terrifying sight. Oh my heavens, what are they trying to do? The Toad almost ran away in fear. Did this kid offend these Sky Devil race people? Aha, brother, you don't understand, right? They're on our side. On our side? The Toad was stunned. Oh my heavens, does this kid have the Sky Devil race as his backing? Isn't that too powerful? Welcome back, Patriarch. With the four great guardians in the lead, the people of the Sky Devil race all knelt on the ground. At this moment, no matter if you were a Saint Venerable or a small saint, everyone was prostrating on the ground. Even the North Demon, the Dark Red Divine Dragon, and the others swallowed their saliva. This scene was too spectacular. Lin Xian was also excited. His face regained its coldness. It was an unruly and arrogant expression that looked down on the world. After all, he still had to pretend to be the Sky Devil race's patriarch. Yes. The people of the Sky Devil race all stood up and looked forward. They were unusually excited. Patriarch, rumor has it that you've reached the level of Heaven Illuminator and that your future destiny is above the Great Sage. Is that true? That's right, Forefather. Isn't our Sky Demon clan about to soar? Even the four great protectors were excited. Old Ancestor, those people still dared to slander you as someone who was abandoned by the heavens. They really deserve to die. Do you want me to go out and kill them? The corner of Lin Xian's mouth twitched. Who were these people? They were even crazier than him. He said that he was not exaggerating. However, becoming a great sage was not a problem. Lin Xian had learned to be smart now. It was time for him to keep a low profile. After all, the two words Great Emperor were too stimulating. If word got out, all the holy cities would want to kill him. But even the great sage was enough to excite the sky demons so much that they almost fainted. After all, if the sky demons were to produce a great god, the sky demon race would definitely be a god. In that case, they would be emperor-like existences in the second astral realm. It was above all the sacred cities. Lin Xian sighed in his heart. Just a great sage was enough to make these people so crazy. If he really told them about what happened yesterday, if he told them about it, these old things would probably die of excitement. Alright, you guys go up. I'm going into seclusion. Don't disturb me. These are my friends. Treat them well. In the future, seeing them is like seeing me. We will follow your orders. These people said respectfully. Then they stared at the North Demon and the others, imprinting their faces in their minds. They would definitely obey the forefathers' words. Little White jumped out and said, "Eat spirit fruits and spirit wine. Go and prepare." Lin Xian shouted coldly. As for him, he led his people toward the demonic palace. Not long after they entered, piles and piles of spirit wine and spirit fruits were sent over. Little White's eyes narrowed into crescents. Fuck, this treatment is too good. Toad's eyes were red and he was drooling. I want to test the golden crow, roast the phoenix, and roast the true dragon. With a slap, the dark red dragon slapped over. You dare to eat a dragon? Toad wiped his saliva. Brother, it was a slip of the tongue. Lin Xian shook his head and ignored the three. Instead, he said to the North Demon, "Cultivate here. You can have anything you want." And it was very safe. Next, Lin Xian and the North Demon began to cultivate in seclusion. The Toad, Dark Red Dragon, and Little White began to digest all kinds of spirit wine. The three of them were all demonic beasts and their bloodlines were very special. Basically, they just needed to eat natural treasures. Lin Xian and the North Demon couldn't do that. They still had to refine. And in order to prevent their cultivation from becoming unstable, they had to consolidate it. Lin Xian's harvest this time was too rich. He had condensed several types of laws, and his cultivation had reached mid-stage 5th heavenly layer. Now, the most important thing was to consolidate his cultivation. His cultivation had been unstable all this time. At this moment, he had to consolidate it. Some of the laws had to be refined again. Just like that, Lin Xian began to cultivate in seclusion in the demonic palace. The people in the outside world searched frantically, but they couldn't find him at all. They even suspected that Lin Xian was still alive. He couldn't have returned to Wuxia City, right? Impossible. The people of the holy city gritted their teeth. Gradually, a news spread. It was very likely that Lin Xian and the experts of the holy city had perished together. When this news came out, it caused an uproar. Such an expert with the talent of a great emperor was going to die? They didn't dare to believe it. However, there was really no news of Lin Xian at all, which made them suspicious. Wuxia City was also worried. They frantically sent people to look for him. Kunlun Pavilion and Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion also took action. At the same time, a piece of news spread, causing the second astral realm to be shocked. It turned out that someone had successfully crossed the 6th heavenly layer and reached the small saint realm. Who was it? Nine Heads Qilin? Or Jianqin? Could also be Lei Zhen. Everyone discussed, guessing who the chief disciples were. However, they found that none of them were the chief disciples. The news came from the Spirit Clan. The first person to break through to the small saint realm was the saintess of the Spirit Clan, Shinjingqiu. When this news came out, everyone was in an uproar. Shinjingqiu, she actually became a small saint in advance. It was too unbelievable. Because there was no news of Shinjingqiu in the news before. There was even news of Gao Yuan, Bai Luo, Li Hongxiu, Murong Qingqing, but there was no news of Shinjingqiu. For a time, people thought that she had fallen. The people of the Spirit Clan were also in despair. But today their saintess came back. Moreover, she came back with the cultivation base of the 5th heavenly layer. After 3 months of seclusion, she directly broke through to the small saint realm. This shocked the Spirit Clan. And this news spread quickly. It shocked everyone in the second astral realm. Although Small Saint was nothing in the eyes of some holy city, she was the first young person to break through to the Small Saint realm. She was faster than Jianqin, Nine Heads Qilin and the others. This showed that Shinjingqiu's talent was absolutely superb. What kind of summoning did she receive? What kind of destiny did she have? All kinds of guesses were made. Chapter 4009. However, they found that there was no news about Shinjingqiu in the entire heavenly fate star. This made them very puzzled. The people of Wuxia City were also surprised. They quickly sent people to the Spirit Clan to investigate. The people of Wushuang City went to the Spirit Clan and found that Xin Jingqiu was still in seclusion. The entire Spirit Clan treated her respectfully. But soon the people of Wushuang City also left. They came to check on Xin Jingqiu's safety. Moreover, they were puzzled because they had entered the heavenly fate star. They didn't meet Xin Jingqiu and didn't know what had happened. Now that Xin Jingqiu was in seclusion, they could only wait until she came out of seclusion to ask. Time passed slowly. Half a year had passed. Xin Jingqiu hadn't come out of seclusion yet. It seemed that she wouldn't come out in a short time. However, another news came from the second astral realm which caused an uproar. It turned out that another person had broken through to the small saint realm. This time it was Lei Zhen. This Lei Zhen was really amazing. They didn't expect that he would compete with Jian Qin, the nine-headed Qilin, and the others. He broke through in advance. It was said that his heavenly fate star was only a saint venerable. It was very difficult for him to enter the Saint King realm. I guess he must have been provoked. Knowing shame and courage, maybe this trace could really create a miracle. Exclamations came one after another. The people of Thunder God City were also in a good mood. And there was also news that Jian Qin, the nine-headed Qilin, and the others were in seclusion. These people wouldn't come out if they didn't reach the small saint realm. However, their pursuit of Lin Xian had never stopped. These people set up an ambush on the road that Wushuang City had to pass through. But after waiting for so long, they didn't see anyone at all. They had to change their strategy. Lin Wudi also had many friends around him. If they could catch a few of them, they could make him come out. The dragon and the man of the demon clan didn't see them. They could only attack others. Didn't he have a few women? Why did he make a move on those women? These people of the sacred city began to have other plans. However, the women around Lin Xian had extraordinary identities. They didn't dare to assassinate them. They had other ways. On this day, the elders of the Myriad Sword Pavilion went to the Kunlun Pavilion with treasures. At the same time, the news also came out. God, have you heard? The people of the Myriad Sword Pavilion went to the Kunlun Pavilion. There was such a thing. It seemed like the 10,000 Swords Pavilion was representing Jian Qin to request the Kunlun Pavilion Saintess Murong Qingqing. This Jian Qin was incredible. He was as strong as Lin Wudi, wasn't he? In the future, he they Jingyue many. However, there were also some people who frowned. Why do I sense a hint of a conspiracy? Sect YF there these people discussed animatedly. But soon they cried out in alarm again. It turned out that the elders of the Myriad Demon City went to the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion with treasures. They heard that they were proposing to the nine-headed Qilin, and the person they were proposing to was Li Hongxiu. This scene naturally made people suck in a breath of cold air. Li Hongxiu had an extraordinary relationship with Lin Wudi. What were these people trying to do? It seemed that they wanted to lure Lin Wudi out. In an instant, everyone understood. At the same time, Thunder God City also made a move. The elders of Thunder God City went to the Spirit Clan with treasures to propose to Xin Jingqiu. This scene caused an uproar again. Xin Jingqiu was a disciple of Wushuang City, and she had a close relationship with Lin Xian. Not ordinary. The women around Lin Xian had all been proposed to by other holy cities. They definitely wanted to lure Lin Wudi out. It seemed that these holy cities really had no choice. They actually came up with such a move. This move was too ruthless. They just didn't know if that kid would come out. They still had to see if those holy cities would agree. Everyone was paying close attention. The people of Wushuang City were also anxious. They sent people to negotiate. In the end, Kunlun Pavilion and Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion directly refused. However, the Spirit Clan didn't immediately express their attitude. The news spread. It was said that the people of the Spirit Clan had a secret meeting with the elders of Thunder God City. It seemed that they might agree. 7 days later, the news spread. The Spirit Clan really agreed. As soon as this news came out, the second astral realm was in an uproar. Xin Jingqiu was originally very famous. The Holy Lady of the Spirit Clan had an extraordinary status. She was very talented and beautiful. She was pursued by countless young talents. Now she was the first to break through to become a small saint. Her future was limitless. Lei Zhen had long been famous in the second astral realm. Although this time Tianming wasn't the top one. But he was an existence that countless people looked up to, especially Lei Zhen, who was the second to break through to become a small saint. He was even more popular. Now these two were going to be married? For a moment, many people exclaimed. In Wushuang City, Shui Tianqin, Wang Xiaofeng and the others frowned. Impossible. How could senior sister Jingqiu agree to that guy? Where's senior brother Lin? Why hasn't senior brother Lin come out yet? They were extremely anxious. They didn't expect that Lei Zhen would succeed. Demon City, Myriad Sword Pavilion, Great Desolate Mansion, Acheron Palace and the others were also very surprised. They sneered. Originally, they wanted to use this opportunity to lure Lin Xin out. Although they failed, as long as one of them succeeded, it would be fine. Lin Wudi would definitely come out after receiving the news. What they wanted to do was to spread this news throughout the second astral realm. Every corner. Next, these sacred cities would operate behind the scenes. The news spread quickly. In the end, the heavenly demon covering region also knew. The witch held the news in her hand and frowned slightly. She took the news and came to the heavenly demon palace. Looking at the closed door in front of her, she hesitated. She didn't know if she should report it. Inside the heavenly demon palace, the dark red divine dragon and the toad sensed the situation outside. They opened the door. "Oh, it's a little beauty. Why are you looking for me?" The toad drooled. The dark red divine dragon poked its head out and asked, "Why do I look at your expression? Is there any news outside?" The witch also knew that although these two demonic beasts were arrogant, but after all they were the people around their patriarch. They didn't dare to offend them. She took a deep breath and passed the jade slip in her hand over. She said that the information she had gathered. Shen Jingqiu and Lei Zhen had both broken through to the Little Saint Realm. Shen Jingqiu was the first to break through to the Little Saint Realm, which caused a lot of shock. And recently, Thunder God City, Myriad Sword Pavilion, and Myriad Demon City. They proposed marriage to Shen Jingqiu, Li Hongxiu, and Murong Qingqing. Among them, Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion and Kunlun Pavilion refused. However, the Spirit Clan agreed. Chapter 40:10. What? Hearing this, the dark red dragon jumped up. Originally, he was quite happy when he heard that Shen Jingqiu was the first to break through to the small saint realm. But when he heard this news, he immediately frowned in anger. Damn it. Does that brat Lei Zhen want to die? It seemed that he was so reckless when I spared his life last time. What's going on? The toad was also surprised. The dark red dragon said that Shen Jingqiu was Lin Fan's woman, and others dared to touch her. Fuck. I'll kick him to death. Let's go and meet that Lei Zhen? It's useless. As far as I know, Lei Zhen is still in seclusion. The demoness in front side. I've already sent the news. You'd better tell the ancestor. If there's anything we need to do, we'll do it immediately. Alright, I got it. You can leave first. The dark red dragon waved his claws and closed the door of the demonic palace again. He raised his head and looked forward. There were many blood-red lights surrounding Xian. It seemed that his cultivation had entered the most important juncture. We can't disturb him now, so the three of us will go and check the situation. Let's see if this is the idea of the Spirit Clan or the little girl of the Shen family. Okay. The toad nodded, a little excited. They could make a big fuss. Little White, let's go together. The dark red dragon called out. Little White shook its head. Yeah, I'm not going. The dark red dragon laughed at the side. Let me tell you, this time we can steal a lot of heavenly treasures and spirit fruits. Maybe there's even good wine. Yeah, really? Big bad dragon, don't lie to me. That's for sure, I swear on my character. The toad and the dark god dragon tricked Whitey into leaving as well. Not only did the three of them leave, but they also took the void beast skin. They boarded the black earth and left the demonic-covered region. They went to the Spirit Clan. The Spirit Clan. These days it was incomparably lively. After all, the saintess of the Spirit Clan was going to get married in 3 months. However, there were also some people who were worried and frowning. It didn't seem good to do so. Chiu was a core disciple of Wushuang City. Should we ask for Wushuang City's opinion? However, there were also many people who objected. At most, Chiu could just leave Peerless City. There was no need for that. Chiu was only an insignificant core disciple inside. However, if she could marry Lei Zhen, then her status would definitely change. Achieve meteoric success. In the future, she might even become the city lord's wife. That's right. Furthermore, this time around, the conditions offered by the Thunder God City were truly too generous. We were truly unable to refuse them. Lei Xinqing was really going all out this time. That was to promise the Spirit Clan that 2 people would be allowed to enter the holy city to cultivate every year. To a clan, this was a huge temptation. One had to know that in the second astral realm, there were countless clans and forces. There were also many clans like the Spirit Clan. Even if they gathered the strength of their entire clan, they might not be able to send a single person into the holy city. But now there were 2 spots every year. It was like a pie falling from the sky. And the only price to pay was to marry Shen Jingqiu to Lei Zhen. This was a piece of cake for them. Firstly, Jingqiu wasn't related to them by blood. She was just an outsider who had become a leftover woman. Hence this was a very good deal. However, what about Lin Wudi? Don't forget that the Holy Lady and Lin Wudi were on very good terms. If Lin Wudi knew about this, what would we do if he came to settle the score with us? He had killed too many saints. Now he was almost invincible below the small saint level. So what? Rumor had it that he was abandoned by the heavens. The heavens didn't tolerate him. What future did he have? Furthermore, even if that wasn't the case, do you think she could continue living? How many holy cities wanted to kill him? How many powerhouses wanted to obtain his destiny? Didn't you see that he didn't even dare to show his face now? He was probably hiding somewhere. What hope did such a person have? Let's place our bets on Lei Zhen. More and more voices sounded. Evidently they had all chosen Lei Zhen and given up on Lin Xian. Of course this was their own decision. Because the most important person, Jingqiu, was still in seclusion and hadn't come out yet. Hence, it could be said that they didn't know anything about this marriage. Outside the spirit clan that appeared was the dark red divine dragon and the other two. The spirit clan should be below. The three of them looked down. I can't wait any longer. Whitey also hugged the treasure bowl and squeaked. I can feel that there are many heavenly treasures waiting for me. The little guy was also eager to try. The dark red divine dragon said, "Be careful. We'll use the void beast skin to hide. Otherwise we'll be in danger if we're discovered." The three of them kept the black earth, put on the void beast skin, and quietly sneaked into the spirit clan. They found out that the majority of the people supported the marriage alliance. Even if there were a small number of people who opposed it, they were suppressed at this moment. They went to find the Shin family's girl. After looking around, they heard something again. These people found that Jingqiu was still in seclusion. What's going on? I'm puzzled. The toad was depressed. It originally wanted to see what the legendary girl looked like. The dark red divine dragon said. It seemed that this matter had nothing to do with the Shin family's girl. She probably didn't know. It should be the spirit clan who made the decision. If the spirit clan really wants to die, do you want to make a move? I'll make a fuss. The toad wants to make a move. The dark red divine dragon said, "Don't make a move. Let's find out first and steal the heavenly treasures. Leave the matter of making a move to that kid." The three of them laughed and then began to collect wantonly. Whitey was in charge. Whitey was the most sensitive to heavenly treasures, so it knew where the best things were. The toad was in charge of keeping watch, the dark red divine dragon was in charge of breaking the array, and then they began to collect. Some arrays that were difficult to break were directly collected with the treasure bowl. It could be said that they returned with a full load. The black earth almost couldn't hold it anymore. Let's go. They put on the void beast skin and quietly left. Not long after they left, the people of the spirit clan screamed. The experts in charge of guarding the treasury fainted in fright. What's going on? Not good, our treasury was stolen. Damn it, the spiritual herb garden was also destroyed. My sacred pill. These people screamed crazily. The entire spirit clan was in chaos. In the end, they found that all the treasures they usually kept had been stolen. Damn it, who was it? Who was it? They actually dared to come and make a move at this time. Moreover, what made them want to vomit blood was that they didn't find a single suspicious person at all. This was really a silent loss. Chapter 40:11. Ah. Outside, Toad and the other two were laughing crazily. It felt great. This time they were returning from a fruitful trip. Hurry up and eat. We are going to break through to the minor saint realm. The three of them were devouring crazily. Their bloodline, Fei Fan, needed a huge amount of resources to evolve. Are we going back? The toad asked with its legs crossed as it enjoyed the heavenly treasures. Damn it. Those people from Thunder God City are too arrogant. Why don't we go and have a look? The three of them changed their direction again and headed towards Thunder God City. They lingered for a long time, but they didn't dare to enter. Because Thunder God City was guarded by a Saint King. With their cultivation they couldn't hide at all. Therefore they were preparing to take action against some of the forces under Thunder God City. As a saint city, Thunder God City had many planets under its control. Therefore they looted 3 of the worlds. Once again they were returning from a fruitful trip. Those 3 worlds were in chaos. Some elders of Thunder God City were so angry that they vomited blood. Let's go to Spirit Clan again. It's almost time. Let's go to Spirit Clan and meet up with that kid. The three of them drove the black earth and set off again. On the other side in Demonic Palace, Lin Xian's body was shining brighter and brighter. Finally, with a boom, his body was glowing like a golden god of war. He too opened his eyes. Great. He had broken through. His physique had broken through again. Although he was only at the mid-fifth heavenly layer, his physique had entered the minor saint realm. Those below the minor saint realm couldn't hurt his physique. They couldn't even get past his defense. As for the minor saint realm, Lin Xian could also fight against them with his powerful physique. His strength had undergone an earth-shattering change compared to before. Beside him, the northern demon was also awakened by the vibration. The towering divine tree behind him entered his body and disappeared. He started to fight. The aura on his body became stronger. Moreover, Lin Xian could feel that the northern demon had a powerful life force. He knew that the northern demon also had a powerful bloodline. His defense might not be as good as his divine body, but his physique was much stronger than his life force and survival rate. He was like a cockroach that couldn't be killed. It would be a war of attrition and many of his opponents would be exhausted to death. Where are Ruffian Long and the others? When Lin Xian woke up, he found that the entire hall was much quieter. This shouldn't be the case. Given the personalities of those three fellows, they should have been in a mess long ago. Northern Devil was confused as well. He said there was a message for us. They found a jade slip on the ground. North Demon took one and checked it. Then his expression changed. What's wrong? Lin Xian asked. Something big has happened. Hurry and take a look. The northern monster hurriedly handed the jade slip over. Then he checked the second jade slip. Lin Xian didn't understand what was going on. After receiving it, his face quickly darkened. Damn it, does Lei Jin want to die? The information inside was naturally collected by the witch, which was the information about the marriage alliance. Lin Xian was completely enraged after reading it. The second brother's jade slip was left behind by Ruffian Long and the others. Those three had already gone to the spirit race ahead of time. 3 months. It was about time for him to reach his destination. We hurried away. The two of them left the demonic palace. Northern Devil frowned. Not only was it almost time, but it was also too late. What should we do? Well, we can use the demonic formation. The demonic clan used to be a sacred city. Although they no longer had a saint king, they were much stronger than ordinary clans. Therefore they had a strong foundation. They still had this kind of teleportation formation. It could directly open a spatial gate and teleport people over a long distance. Lin Xian was going to use it now. Hearing that Lin Xian was going to leave again, the people of the demonic clan surrounded him. Patriarch, are you going to leave? Lin Xian said coldly. I've told you not to meddle in my affairs. Yes, Patriarch, we understand. Patriarch, do you need help? Lin Xian thought for a while, then nodded and said, bring 2 little saints. 2 of the stronger ones just need to follow us in the dark. Without my order, don't show yourself. We'll make preparations now. While sending people to activate the formation, they also chose 2 experts from the demonic palace. Both of them were little saints. One of them was a mid-stage little saint while the other was a late-stage little saint. There should be no problem with the 2 of them. Soon the teleportation was completed. Lin Xian, Northern Devil, and the 2 little saints boarded the formation. They set the location as near the spirit clan. Then, the teleportation formation was activated and they disappeared. The time limit of 3 months was almost up. The spirit clan was very lively at the moment. In the second astral realm, many clans had started to prepare for the wedding. After all, Lingzhu was also a big clan. Moreover, the person they were going to marry was a top genius like Lei Jin. Even if they didn't want to make friends with the spirit clan, they had to curry favor with the Thunder God City. Moreover, they heard that in addition to the Thunder God City, the Myriad Sword Pavilion, Acheron Palace, and other sacred cities would also send people to attend the wedding. With so many sacred cities together, it was really a grand occasion. The people of the spirit clan were very excited. They had never received so many big clans before. All of this originated from this marriage. Therefore they must do it well. From now on, the spirit clan could really rise to another level. The spirit clan also occupied a world with rich spiritual veins. The spirit clan was the clan that was best at finding spiritual veins of heaven and earth. They could also nourish spiritual veins themselves. Therefore, the place where the spirit clan was located was really a holy place for cultivation. When some of the guests from the starry sky arrived and felt the aura here, they were all amazed. No wonder the spirit clan was so powerful. This was simply the best place for cultivation. Yes, in a few thousand years they might be able to cultivate a sage king. it would immediately become a sacred city. Fellow Taoists, you are too courteous. The elders and young geniuses of the Spirit clan were accompanying these important guests. Among them, Ling Lianhua and the others were also present. They were already very excited. Previously, these people were all against Shinjingqiu. At this moment, they were also excited and gloating over her misfortune. Firstly, the status of the Spirit clan could be improved. Secondly, Shinjingqiu would definitely leave after the marriage. At that time, no one would stop them. Perhaps she could also become a saintess. Thinking of this, how could Ling Lianhua not be excited? As the time approached, more and more experts from the clans arrived. Those from the other sacred cities had not arrived yet. Everyone guessed that the other sacred cities would only arrive on the same day. The dark red divine dragon and the toad had also arrived. They were wearing void beast skins and strolling around the world. Damn, they actually attracted so many people. Damn it, these people are too opportunistic, aren't they? When the time comes, I will let them know what regret is. Little White was a little bored and dozed off. He was only interested in the treasures of heaven and earth. Those from the Starry Sky clans and experts who came were in groups of 3 to 5. They were either exchanging greetings or talking about the recent events. They were talking about the geniuses and heroes of the world. Look, the princess of the New Moon clan is here. She is not comparable to Shinjingqiu in terms of beauty and talent. Someone exclaimed. Chapter 40:12. A group of people came from the New Moon clan. The one leading them was a beautiful woman. She rode on a crescent moon and descended. Soon, countless people surrounded her. They wanted to please her, but Gao Yu was cold and arrogant. It's this girl. The toad gasped and blinked. The dark red dragon also said, she's here too. Look at her aura, she's also at the peak of the 5th heavenly layer. She's probably not far from breaking through to the small saint realm. It's amazing that the destined star can shorten the time for these geniuses to break through by so many years. Indeed, under normal circumstances, these people would need hundreds or even hundreds of years to break through to the small saint realm. But now they could break through in a few years or months. It's really a great fortune. I wonder if the crown prince of the New Moon clan is here. Rumor has it that he's about to break through to the small saint realm. Everyone was discussing. Hehe, Princess New Moon is still so beautiful. I wonder when I can snatch her away. A few people in the crowd laughed coldly. The others felt their scalps tingle. Who is this? How dare they? They saw that these people were wearing black robes and had a strange aura. Are they from the Ghost Nether region? I wonder if the ghost girl of the Ghost Nether region by Luo is here. How can our ghost girl be compared to a little princess? She's still far from being a match for us. These people of the Ghost Nether region looked extremely cold. There were also some powerful geniuses and some rising stars which made the crowd exclaim. Oh, seeing this scene, I'm reminded of someone. You're talking about Lin Wuti, right? Yes, in the past he always appeared in big scenes. And he was always able to do earth-shattering things. But now no one knows where he is. It's good that he's hiding. If he dares to come out, he'll die immediately. Yes, he's abandoned by the heavens now. With so many holy cities wanting to kill him, he probably won't dare to come out for the rest of his life. Many people shook their heads and sighed. At this time a few people laughed coldly. Who does Lin Wuti think he is? If he dares to come out, he'll be torn to pieces. He'll be a coward for the rest of his life. Hearing this, the crowd felt their scalps tingle. Now there are people who dare to openly despise Lin Wuti. They all turned their heads to look. In the next moment they screamed. The people from the holy city had arrived. Indeed, they saw a few figures walking out. Is the holy city here? Isn't it? These were some ordinary disciples of the holy city. They were the vanguard and had arrived early. The real elders and the top geniuses should arrive in 2 days. The auras of the people who walked over were very powerful. Even the ordinary disciples of the holy city were not people that ordinary geniuses could contend against. After all, to be able to enter the holy city, who didn't have some strength? Some of them were surrounded by thunder, some were surrounded by yellow springs, and some were surrounded by a terrifying aura of desolation. These people came from different sacred cities, but they all had one enemy, and that was Lin Xian. At this moment, a genius from Thunder God City sneered, that Lin Wuti better not come out. Otherwise, our chief disciple will slap him to death. Everyone was in an uproar. It seemed like Lei Zhen was really going to rise. However, at this moment, a cold laugh rang out from the void. Lei Zhen? That trash? He had been defeated by Lin Wuti more than once. I think it should be at least 3 times, right? Not only that, he even hid in his shell and didn't come out. Humph, if Lin Wuti dared to come he could probably slap Lei Jin to death. Another voice rang out. The surrounding people were stunned. Oh my god, someone dared to tear down the stage between Lei Jin and Thunder Saint City? Who was it? They looked around but they couldn't find the person who spoke. Was there an expert? They exclaimed. The faces of the people from Thunder God City sank. Who was it? Sneaking around and daring to slander our Thunder Saint City. Come out and accept your death. Trash, you can't even find where we are and you still have the face to be arrogant? Ah, I despise you. Humph, coward, come out. I will slap you to death. Thunder God City roared in anger. I will fulfill your wish. At this moment, two figures walked out from the void. They were the Toad and the Dark Red Dragon. Whitey was lying on the Dark Red Dragon, yawning in boredom. It's you? Many people screamed. They knew that there were several powerful beasts beside Lin Xian, but they didn't expect these two guys to come. You guys are here. Where's Lin Wuti? Tell him to come out. There's no need for that kid to do anything. I can beat you down. The Toad jumped out. Come, let me teach you how to be a human. The Toad's image wasn't good. Think about it, can a Toad be liked? Moreover, the Toad's body was much bigger than an ordinary Toad. In addition, his contemptuous eyes and disdainful expression. Suddenly, the corners of the surrounding people's mouths twitched. The people from Thunder God City felt their scalps go numb. Just two beasts, how dare they be arrogant in front of me? The people from Thunder God City sneered. What did you say? The Dark Red Dragon was angry and directly slapped out. Slap. I will teach you how to be a human. The Toad attacked. An earth-shattering sound rang out. 3 disciples from Thunder God City flew out. Their faces were smashed and there were all kinds of cracks on their bodies. Blood flowed out. The 3 of them fell to the ground and kept twitching. How dare you say we are? I'll say it again. The Toad jumped up and stepped on the 3's faces. The 3 of them were in so much pain that they wanted to die. Ah, damn it. I'll fight it out with you. The Toad's kick pierced through the 3's heads. Their bodies were smashed into pieces. How dare you provoke me? Seems like you don't know what's good for you. When the disciples of Great Desolate Mansion saw this, they wanted to retreat. The Dark Red Dragon sent the other party flying with a slap. They didn't know whether the other party was dead or alive. The surrounding people were stunned. Aren't these 2 beasts too ferocious? It's simply torture. Are all the beasts around Lin Xian so powerful? The crowd was in an uproar. The scene here naturally alarmed the people of Spirit Race. After all, these were the disciples of Thunder God City. They couldn't afford to be injured here. Soon the experts of Spirit Race rushed over. Who dares to cause trouble here? Are you tired of living? How dare you interfere with me? The Toad snorted. When the people of Spirit Race saw this, their eyelids twitched. 2 beasts, who are you guys? You're not fit to talk to me. The Dark Red Dragon had an arrogant expression on its face. The Toad also sneered. Let your master come. You bunch of lackeys aren't enough to deal with him. The people of Spirit Race vomited blood. Ling Lianhua frowned. What's going on? She asked the people beside her. Soon they got the news. These 2 beasts were Lin Wuti's beasts. The people of the Spirit Race all frowned. Lin Wuti is here? The silhouette of the tree was the name of Lin Wuti. When he wasn't here they didn't care. But when they heard these 3 words they were so scared that they trembled. Chapter 40:13. However, after waiting for a long time, they realized that Lin Wuti did not come. So that brat did not dare to come out. So what if he slapped 2 beasts? Hurry up and leave. Otherwise don't blame us for being impolite. Those people from the Spirit Race sneered. Take him down. Let that Lin Wuti know that our Spirit Race is not to be trifled with. Ling Lianhua laughed sinisterly. Little girl, you dare to catch me? I will spit you to death. The Toad opened its mouth and spat out its saliva. This was not an ordinary saliva. It was highly toxic. Even a sage would be poisoned and injured if he touched it. Sure enough, many people from the Spirit Race had their bodies rotting. Ling Lianhua screamed in fright. Fortunately, she had a defensive treasure to block it. Otherwise, she would probably be disfigured. Ling Lianhua was trembling in anger. The surrounding people exclaimed. They were also able to tell that these 2 monstrous beasts were extraordinarily powerful. Ordinary sages were no match for them. Who dares to hurt the people of my Thunder God City? At this moment, a roar could be heard. Then a figure bathed in lightning rushed over. Heavens! It was a core disciple of Thunder God City. Everyone screamed. Had the people from the sacred city arrived? How would they know that a part of the sacred city had indeed come? Their purpose was to catch Lin Xian. At this moment they did not see Lin Xian but two beasts. Heavenly Thunder God Fist. This man had reached the fifth celestial layer. His strength was very powerful. Once he made a move, countless people were terrified. They retreated frantically. Ling Lianhua and the rest revealed a sinister smile. It was easy for a fifth celestial layer to deal with two beasts. The toad sneered. You dare to fight with me? He slapped out two claws and hit the opponent's fist. With a boom, the opponent's fist exploded. The opponent's body was also torn apart. This genius came quickly and left quickly. Soon he fell to the ground and screamed crazily. Too weak, too trashy. The surrounding people were all stunned. Was this really a toad? Why did it feel like a divine beast? Ling Lianhua and the rest were also stunned. They were about to cry. These two beasts were already so powerful? Audacious. Who was causing trouble here? A few old men had arrived from the spirit race. Elder. Ling Lianhua and the others were excited. When the old man saw this scene, his face darkened. You two demonic beasts dare to behave so atrociously in our territory? As soon as he finished speaking, the toad slapped him. The old man jumped in fright and quickly retreated. Impudent. Men, do it. Since you dare to fight with us, I'll play with you. The toad wanted to attack with all its might. At this moment, Whitey's figure flashed and appeared in front of Laozi, slapping the old man unconscious. The dark red divine dragon attacked on the spot, forming a huge mountain that pressed the old man to the ground. Jianghu, has Elder been subdued? The people of the spirit race had wanted to make a move. But when they saw this scene they were all scared stiff. The old man came back to his senses and screamed crazily. Damn it, how dare you sneak attack me? As soon as he finished speaking, he screamed like a pig being slaughtered. The crimson divine dragon exerted force with its claws, and the other party's body was torn apart. Old man, for the sake of the little girl of the Shen family, I didn't kill you immediately. However, if you don't know what's good for you, I have 1,000 ways to make you wish you were dead. Now I'll wake you up and let you know which side you should stand on. Boom. The people of the spirit race were so shocked that they couldn't speak. This scene attracted many experts. In the end, a small saint appeared. A terrifying aura rushed over. In addition, the people of Thunder God City, Demon City, Myriad Sword Pavilion, and Great Desolate Mansion had also gathered. A terrifying aura filled the sky. The people of the sacred city had arrived. This time the real elders and geniuses had come. You'd better not get married or you'll die miserably. The crimson divine dragon slapped the elder of the spirit race away and said, Wind is tight, retreat. The three of them jumped into the void and disappeared. Ah! The people of the spirit race roared crazily. The cultivators of the other sacred cities also attacked. After searching around, they found that the other party had mysteriously disappeared. Damn it! The people of the spirit race gritted their teeth. A few small saints said, Don't bother about this matter. The two demonic beasts are nothing to be afraid of. Hurry up and welcome them with me. As they spoke, they got into a big formation to welcome them. In the end, the old ancestor of the spirit race also came out. The elders of the spirit race all came out to welcome him. Fellow Taoists, thank you for coming to the spirit race. The old lady of the spirit race was full of smiles. She was also unwilling to accept this before, but what else could she say now? The result was set. She could only hope that Chiu could understand their painstaking efforts. The geniuses of Myriad Sword Pavilion, Great Desolate Mansion, and Demon City arrived one after another and were respectfully invited in. In the end, a lightning dragon appeared between heaven and earth, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws, filling the void. Everyone looked up at the sky. The people of Thunder God City had arrived. This lightning dragon was formed by a peerless great ability. There were many people on it. One of them was a man with horns on his head. Lightning surged on his body, making him look like a peerless god of thunder. He was Lei Zhen. At this moment he was no longer frightened and fearful like before. Instead, he was high-spirited and had regained his arrogance. Because he had finally reached the realm of small saint. He had regained his confidence that he could sweep through everything. So what if he met Lin Xian again? He could easily kill him. Lei Zhen's arrival had shocked everyone. The atmosphere of the spirit race had also reached its peak. After the elders of Thunder God City were invited in, they sat in the main hall. The first thing they asked was whether the holy maiden of the spirit race had come out from her seclusion. The elders of the spirit race hesitated. The faces of the people of Thunder God City sank. Why hasn't she come out from her seclusion? The wedding is in 3 days. Isn't the spirit race a little too arrogant? In their opinion, so what if Xinjingqiu was talented? They were the Saint City. How dare she disrespect them? Fellow Taoist, please calm down. We guarantee that the wedding will be held in 3 days. There won't be any delay. The elders of the spirit race wiped off their cold sweat and retreated. Elder, we're not here to be Lin Wudi. Why are you so serious? One of the geniuses at the side laughed. One must put on a good show. Otherwise, how could they lure the other party out? The elders snorted coldly. Lei Zhen's eyes flashed with a cold light. He said, moreover, this Xinjingqiu is really good looking. She can be my concubine. Just like that, another 2 days passed. There was only 1 day left. The residence was packed with people, and people were congratulating him everywhere. The 3 of them finally couldn't stand it anymore and jumped out. Where's Lei Zhen? Come out. I'll slap you to death. They were too anxious because there was only 1 day left. Lin Xian hadn't arrived yet. So, they had to take action first to buy some time. It would be easier when that kid came. Chapter 40:14. How reckless. Lei Zhan rushed out with his men. How dare a toad and a snake act so arrogantly in front of me? Where is Lin Wudi? Does he think that he is a coward? You are not qualified to be arrogant in front of us. Can you defeat that kid? You have been defeated by him several times. Lei Zhan was enraged. Ray was furious. This was the humiliation of his life. He would not allow others to mention it again. I was careless before. Now that my strength has increased, he is no match for me. Men, take them down. I want to pull out their tendons and skin them alive, then hang their corpses on the city wall. I want to show Lin Wudi the consequences of going against me. Lei Zhan revealed a ferocious expression. 8 people from Thunder God City walked out. A great battle broke out. However, what was shocking was that the Toad and the other 2 were very strong. The 8 experts of Thunder God City were no match for them. Is this all the strength of Thunder God City is? How shameful. Is this little bit of strength just scratching my itch? It is not enough. The dark red dragon and the Toad continued to clamor. Lei Zhan roared and attacked again. This time 8 more people rushed out. Even the people of Yellow Spring Palace and Great Desolate Mansion sneered. We will also play with you. This is Brother Lei's big day and no one is allowed to disturb him. The other Saint City experts also attacked and surrounded Ruffian Dragon and the Toad. The situation had become extremely critical. Buzz. The dark red dragon spat out some arrays to block the attacks. They were still able to resist. This scene stunned the others. These 3 demon beasts were too strong. The other Saint City experts' faces were gloomy, feeling embarrassed. Finally, an elder of Thunder God City could not bear it anymore. A big hand stretched out. It was a little saint. The power of his attack was terrifying to the extreme. The array formed by the dark red dragon was instantly shattered. Not good. The expressions of the dragon and the Toad changed drastically. Damn it. Shameless. How dare you send a little saint? Go to hell. There is no need to talk about morality with ants like you. Many people exclaimed. Some people closed their eyes. It seemed that these 2 demon beasts were going to die. Boom. Between the heaven and earth, a red leaf flew down and pierced through the gigantic palm. The elder of Thunder God City who attacked screamed and retreated while holding his arm. When he saw the red leaf, his pupils shrank. Fu Hongya. He screamed in horror. The others were also in an uproar. Fu Hongya was here? In the distance. The spirit boat flew over and 5 figures alighted. Fu Hongya was the leader, followed by 4 other disciples. After Fu Hongya arrived, she said coldly, "If you want to fight, I'll accompany you." At this point, another red leaf appeared in his hand. It exuded a peerless killing intent. The body of the Thunder God City's elder trembled as fear appeared in his eyes. The others did not even dare to breathe loudly. Today is a joyous day for our Thunder God City. Do you want to cause havoc everywhere? Of them. Those from the Great Desolation Mansion and the Yellow Springs Palace also walked out. Their eyes flashed with cold light. You guys are no match for me. Facing so many little saints, Fu Hongya stood there with a disdainful expression. This scene infuriated the Holy City elders so much that they almost vomited blood. How arrogant. Why did it feel like he was more arrogant than Lin Wudi? You are talking about a big day? Fu Hongya's face darkened. I heard that someone wants to marry my junior sister of Wushuang City. Have you asked for Wushuang City's opinion? He snorted coldly and the whole world trembled violently. The people of the Spirit Clan were so scared that their scalps went numb. The others also exclaimed. Here comes the good show. The Spirit Clan didn't even discuss it with Wuxia City. I knew it. Otherwise how could they marry Lei Zhen? Exclamations sounded one after another. The people of Thunder God City snorted coldly. This is a matter between Thunder God City and the Spirit Clan. What does it have to do with Wuxia City? Fu Hongye ignored them and asked with a frown. Where are the people of the Spirit Clan? Ask the Patriarch of the Spirit Clan to come and see me. Yes, the Spirit Clan is too hateful. We have investigated. Shen Jingqiu is still in seclusion and doesn't know about this matter at all. The dark red dragon and the toad also walked up and said with gritted teeth. Fu Hongye glanced at the two and nodded slightly. Ya, Little White also jumped on Fu Hongye's shoulder and blinked its big eyes. It gestured angrily. Fu Hongye smiled. Little guy, don't worry. I will help my junior brother vent his anger. Not long after, the elders of the Spirit Clan walked out trembling. Greetings, young Master Fu. Although Fu Hongye was much younger than them, this was a world where strength was respected, so they had to treat him respectfully. You are the Patriarch of the Spirit Clan? Fu Hongye stared at the white-haired old woman. Was the old woman? Well, let me ask you. Your Spirit Clan secretly married Thunder God City. Have you asked Wuxia City? Are you ignoring our Wuxia City? Are you looking down on us? Fu Hongye's voice was unusually cold. The people of the Spirit Clan broke out in cold sweat. Many elders looked at Thunder God City with pleading eyes. The clan chief was also frowning. About this, I think we are still qualified to arrange the marriage of the Spirit Clan Saintess. That's right. Fu Hongye, don't go too far. Is your holy city trying to bully others? We won't ignore it. Thunder God City sneered. The people of the other holy cities all showed a sinister smile. With the support of these people, the people of the Spirit Clan straightened their backs. Yes, young Master Fu, this is our family matter. I hope you don't interfere anymore. If you are here to attend the wedding, then we will invite you in. If not, I hope you don't cause trouble on our wedding day. Fu Hongye's face darkened and he snorted. Behind him, a second-generation disciple attacked quickly. Slap, slap. With 2 slaps, the few elders of the Spirit Clan who spoke before were all sent flying. Their faces were smashed. They fell to the ground and screamed. One of them said coldly, Our senior brother Fu is the second generation's chief disciple. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak like that? The others sucked in a breath of cold air. Weren't these second-generation disciples too strong? It seemed that Fu Hongye had brought the elites of the elites this time. Damn it, you are too much. The people of the Spirit Clan trembled with anger. Fu Hongye said coldly, We have never thought of using our power to bully others. However, Holy City has the status of a holy city. Today I am not here to represent myself but Wuxia City. So, provoking me is the same as provoking Wuxia City. Wuxia City will not be humiliated. Whoever dares to be impudent will be killed without mercy. The people of the Spirit Clan did not dare to speak. The Patriarch of the Spirit Clan, the old woman, said, Everyone please come in. Let us explain this matter properly. We will not drink tea. We are only here to clarify one thing. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.